we thank you for these gifts. We thank you for your glory, for your grace, and we thank you for the greater. It is so in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. My people, my royal people, welcome back to Living Single with Dr. G podcast, where we talk to everybody and anybody, whatever their relationship status may be, married, single and searching, single and praying, single and waiting, divorced, separated, in between, wherever you are, we like to talk to everybody and get their perspective on these same 10 questions. But everybody has a different response, a different perspective, because everybody has different experiences. So we call it talk therapy, because I guarantee you some nuggets are going to be dropped that's going to help renew your mind, transform your life, help you make some better relationship goals for yourself. And listen, right now it's going to be no different, no less than any other previous guest, because we have one and only. He goes by the name of Wes. Hey, listen, man, introduce yourself. Tell us your name, give us your age, your relationship status, and then give a little bio on yourself so people can know who they're about to hear from.
For sure. Well, thanks for having me first and foremost, Dr. G. Appreciate it, man. My name is Wes Trammell. I'm 33 years old. I'm about to be 34 in October. So 34 is right around the corner. But I am married. Me and my wife, Brianna, we celebrated our 5th year back in April. So that was a nice milestone. Right before that, we had our second baby girl. So we have a almost 3-year-old, and then we have a almost 5-month-year-old. So yeah, girl dad to the core, man.
Girl dad.
Absolutely love it, bro. It's just made me more tenderhearted, and I just be crying for no reason now.
Oh man, wow.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing, man.
No, it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, celebrated 5 years of marriage. We've been dating, or we dated probably about 1.5 years before we got married. And we had a really fast, engagement process. I guess fast to me. We were engaged for about 7 months. Cause I'm just like, man, if I know, I know. If she knows, she knows. So let's just get it done. You know what I mean? So yeah. My day job, I work in marketing. But I feel like my purpose is mentoring young student athletes. So I started a nonprofit called the Chosen Ones GR. GR meaning Grand Rapids. We're up in Michigan, on the west side, so we're the second biggest city in Michigan. So really the Chosen Ones, really our motto is helping student athletes with the mental side of the game. So, there's plenty of great trainers, coaches and stuff like that in our area, but that help the kids with the physical side of the game. So I saw a quote on LinkedIn a couple weeks ago. I think it said, like, be who you wish you had when you're a teen, when you're coming up. And that confirmed to me, I'm like, dang, man, like, I really am in the lane where I'm supposed to be, because the mental side of the game was something I struggled with the most. So I was a basketball player. I played in college too. So on and off the court, man, I struggled mentally. I struggled with confidence. I struggled with my mental health. So yeah, that's just a whole testimony I could share for hours and hours and hours. But yeah, being able to take what I struggle with and stuff I've learned along the way. And then my sister, she has her master's in social work. She's a school counselor. And my boy Chris, he has a master's in social work too. So us three together, all former student athletes. It's a solid team, and we're ready to do some big things coming up. So.
Wow, man, that is absolutely awesome. And And you're the first guest. They're just the first guest. We're going to season 3. Who just I just step back and just let you drop it like that. You had so much. Everybody just say a little quick something or whatever. But this is actually I pay attention to all the different firsts that happens anyway. And I love everybody's niche and the newness that come. It never gets old here because everybody is, it's a platform where you can be yourself and do you and feel the energy and the vibe of now. And so hearing everything you said, man, that's part of the reason. And I'm just thankful that I was drawn to you. I actually, just so everybody would know, we are Facebook friends. I seen him on Facebook. I seen his light on Facebook. All right. His light. There's a lot I can say about that. His light, and I call him a lighthouse. It was like a lighthouse. And I saw that and I saw what he was doing and it just made me say, yo, I'm loving this. And then when I saw Chosen caught my attention. Branding is a key thing. When you branding is a key thing. The word chosen caught my attention. And then I'm looking and then I'm hearing how you're, inspiring and motivating, like you said, taking care of that mental aspect, pouring into that. I'm like, I want to hear what he got to say about this. This brother got some nuggets, some wisdom. All of this comes from a well, and so let him pour here at the podcast and enlarge somebody else's territory with your nuggets. So, man, it's a pleasure having you here, and we're gonna dab into some of that. I know the way you answer certain things are going to come out of where you've been and where you come from.
For sure, no doubt.
So yeah, congratulations on the 5 years. Congratulations on the two daughters, and unlike I've done before, since you are a dad, a little weeping dad. The sense of that. But let me tell you, I have 2 kids, and I know, man, they're older, they're grown now, but being able to I remember holding them on my bare chest, and just, I'm like, oh my gosh, and it brings you, like you said, that gentle, that tender spot, it hits it. So I admonish all guys, I just challenge all guys to connect with your infants, with with them when they're babies. And they're with the mother, in the womb, but when they come out, our physical touch and our voice and everything, it makes an immediate impact.
Absolutely.
With them. Yeah. So do you have any dad jokes?
Dad jokes? Man.
Yeah. Well, give me a dad joke before we get started.
That's hilarious, man, that you asked me. I be telling dad jokes to my wife every day, and then you put me on the spot. Now I'm blanking. Okay. No, I got one.
Okay.
So my Spanish teacher in high school always loved this one. It was, did you hear about the Mexican lady that had twins?
No.
She named them Jose and Jose B.
I got to Jose. Yeah. I like it.
He did it a lot better though with his accent and stuff like that. He was born and raised in Mexico, and it was a lot funnier when he said it. But that's always been one of my favorites for years.
Hey, don't play yourself. That was funny. Don't play yourself. I like, yeah. It's Jose, yeah, Hobie. Listen, I love it. This dad's gonna take that one. Yeah, they're gonna get tired of hearing that one.
Yeah, you got it.
I love it. I appreciate it. Listen, man. So, got 10 questions. I ask all my guests the same questions, but like I said earlier, everybody comes back with a different response and perspective because we're uniquely experiencing life in a different way, and from different lenses than anybody else, and even from those twins, Jose and Hobie. You could be twins, triplets, and you're still looking through different lenses and experiencing life different. So our first question I want to dive into is, what would, as a married man, for 5 years, this is a good place and a good space. You said you'll be 34 in October.
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to your responses to these.
Yeah.
What red flags would you tell anyone
Yeah.
who's pursuing a relationship never to ignore? What
Mhm.
red flags?
Man, yeah. Right out the gate. That's a great question. So for me, it's I kind of start with myself, and this is one of the questions down the line, I believe, but I just start looking at like what's important to me, um, in what I'm looking for and what I need in a relationship. Um, so to me, it comes down to values. So, uh, I believe in Jesus. So really everything that I, base my life around comes from a biblical perspective. So, for me, it's values. So like, if I'm talking to a young brother or a young sister, like, what are your values? What is important to you? Those are the things that you should look at first. So for me personally, it's my faith, number one. So immediately, if I see someone, no shade against that person, but living a lifestyle that's maybe partying or stuff like that. To each his own, but that's just not something I want to do. You know what I mean? So or something, if I know that that person isn't a believer, that's a red flag to me too, because the Bible says, not to be with someone that's unequally yoked as you.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I understand, maybe you can get married to somebody, then one person can, give their life to Christ, become a Christian, the other person doesn't. The Bible says, hey, continue to be with that person, and maybe you can witness to that person, and that person will eventually, give their lives over too. But if you're already a Christian, and I've done it before, you're already a Christian, you're talking to a girl that isn't, like, that's already that shouldn't mix. And I've been there before, and it's just not a good thing. So that's really the first red flag to me. The second is just like family for me, like the family dynamics, just looking at how they interact with their family, right? Looking at how their family interacts with them. Um, how the girl that you're interested in, like what's the relationship with her dad like? Because
Mhm.
if that relationship is damaged or non-existent, then most likely you should expect, I'm gonna say this lightly, you should expect some type of friction or um just a woman that's kind of hidden. Maybe they don't know how to accept love from a man, right? Vice
Right, right.
versa.
Mhm.
Vice versa. A man
Mhm.
that has a rocky relationship with, his mom may
Mhm.
have issues taking love or loving a woman. So those are some red flags that really come up to me first personally. Um,
Mhm.
but with faith, like honestly, like that's not a compromise for me at all. Um, and also the last one is friends, I think. Um,
Uh,
if I'm single and I'm talking to a girl and I see like the company they keep, and the company they keep is kind of wild, you know, that's a red flag for me. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that, I mean that girl, she might have her head on straight,
Right.
but I want a woman that, like my wife, that has women around her that will, lift her up, that will, you know, give her keep her positive, right? Say me and my wife get in an argument, which we do,
Mhm. Mhm.
you
Everybody.
know, right. Her friends are gonna be like, all right, tell me what happened. And
Mhm.
they're gonna tell her the truth. They're gonna be like, all right, you were wrong in this situation.
Right.
This is what you should do, in my opinion. Or they'll be like, oh, he was wrong, he should apologize. It's never
Mhm.
like, oh no, bump
Mhm.
him. You know what we gonna do? We gonna go out, we gonna do this and that, forget your man. None of that. So like
Mhm.
I think friends are very important in the company that you keep. Is Says a lot about a person. So
I love it. I love it. All right, now for the Trinity right there. Faith, family, friends.
Yeah.
All right. FFF. Listen.
I even do that on purpose, man.
And all those and that flags over there too.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
that's powerful. Everything you said, and even to that last point as it relates to friends, because when you are in the wrong company, good character is corrupt by bad company. Right?
Right.
And so you could be a vessel trying to do the right thing. You could be going through something in your relationship. But if you're talking to the wrong people, they're going to give you the wrong advice. You know, they're going to post season to you. They're going to interject some things that's not going to be prudent for you and your relationship. But like you were saying, given the scenario, going to the right group of girls or guys who will pray with you, gonna pray for you, you know, and what the word got to say about this, you know, because how am I trying to live my life according to the word, but I'm going to talk to somebody and their book is the world.
Right. 100%.
Beautiful, beautiful. But everything I could see, everything you were saying as related to faith, you know, family and friends. That's good. That's good. And all of these questions, they kind of like intertwine with each other as it just deals with relationship. Every aspect of our life are different layers, and they all intertwine in one aspect or another. So you hit on one a little bit. Me going into that one, and that is what's the importance of deal breakers? Do you think deal breakers are important? Do you think they should be negotiated? And what have been some of your deal breakers?
First of all, yes, absolutely, 1,000%. Deal breakers are, exactly what they mean, and I think everybody should hold themselves to that and hold the person that they're with to those deal breakers. I've overlooked deal breakers in the past, honestly. You know, tried to date a woman that or a girl that broke all those deals, those ideal things. Um,
all of them?
Not all of them, but a couple key ones.
Okay,
I
I'm
wouldn't.
like, well, what does she have going on? Hey, both these deal breakers.
Right. But for me, man, marriage is supposed to be intended for life, right? So, like, if you want to be with someone for life, you gotta those deal breakers, can't be broken, and you have to be with someone that fits your values. That relationships aren't easy, but you need to be with someone that's easy to be with, if that makes sense. My marriage, yeah, my marriage, my marriage,
Hey, don't rush past that nugget there. You need to be with someone who's easy to be with.
easy to be with, man. Easy to be with.
Dude, yes, that's good.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'll say 100 times, man. That my marriage, me and Bree, our marriage isn't easy. You know what I mean? Now we're having 2 kids. Now I'm trying to figure out how to keep dating and keep keeping our relationship fresh with a new baby and another toddler running around. It's hard, but I told her the other day, I'm like, thank you for being easy to be with. Like, I don't have to worry about you. Like, if I say I went on business on a trip for, I don't know, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, I don't care. I don't have to worry. I know my wife is going to hold it down at home, and I know she's not going to be, running out on me doing nothing. Like, the trust is just there. So when
that's actually easy to be without her, though.
yeah, right, yeah.
Cause you're away.
Yeah, exactly. So
no, but I know, I'm go ahead, man.
Yeah. So when you kind of throw those deal breakers out the door and just like kind of settle, we're gonna talk about settle later, but you are kind of inviting those things. Like, you're setting yourself up for a relationship that's going to be tough. That's going to be really, really hard, or you might be with someone that's hard to be with, or you might be the one that's hard to be with, right? Like
That's right.
if I'm trying to walk with God, like, you know, I broke up with my ex-girlfriend years ago, and I wanted to make it clear that, like, no, I'm not too good for you. It's just we're different, right? I'm going to be hard to be with because I I'm not going to want to do certain things, and you are, and that's going to drive you crazy just as much as it drives me crazy that you want to do some stuff. Like, so it really goes both ways, honestly. So, um, but
Jesus,
yeah,
that's good.
yeah, man.
No,
So
that's so good. It's that self-awareness though. Just be able to say, because I know I'm hard to be with. And I love
yeah,
and now it's easier to say it after you explain it like that, you know?
hmm
But I know it takes a certain wait a minute, let me say it like this. It's hard for some, but it's just right for the right person.
right, exactly.
As you said, it's easy for the right person.
hmm Yeah. So I talked about earlier, like my two deal breakers, three deal breakers: faith, family, and the company you keep, friends. Those are just non-negotiable. I tried to negotiate those in the past, and it just did not work. So those are really the three. I do believe though that, you know, anything outside um, that negotiation process in your mind, um, you know, you kind of touched on. It's like our shortcomings. Like, do you love this person enough to deal with those shortcomings, right?
Right, right.
Um, so for me, it may be my wife will say something to me, man, and I'll be like, "Yep, okay." And then 2 days later, she'll be like, "Hey, did you, you know, take the trash out early because we got to leave?" No, you didn't tell me that. Yeah, I did. I literally told it to you at the dinner table. Like, that's one of my shortcomings that she has to deal with, right? But she loves
Right,
me,
right.
and I
Yeah.
you know, to deal with that. But like, um, one of my favorite rappers though is this is a lighthearted one. I'm not sure
Mhm.
if you heard of Trip Lee before. He raps with Reach Records 116. He's a Christian rapper.
Triple E,
Trip Lee, Trip Lee.
Triple E. No, but I'm gonna check them out though.
Yeah, check him out. Reach Records, they're right there in Atlanta, actually.
Yeah, I
Right,
know. Yeah, Reach Records. Uh huh.
that's who he raps with. But so he's a
Okay.
black dude. He's from Texas. He married a white woman. Um, and like people were like, you know, starting to get on him, like, man, like you marrying a white girl, like this and this. And he was like, look, man, she's beautiful. She loves God. She's very motherly. Like, I've seen her with other kids. Like, she checks all these boxes. I don't care. I don't care if she's never seen an episode of Martin. I can deal with that. I don't care if she hasn't watched Fresh Prince before. Like, that don't matter to me. Like, I could deal with those shortcomings. I could show her Martin. I could show her.
Ah, you got it a shortcoming.
That's what he said though. That's what he said though.
That's no shortcoming, baby.
That's what I said. It's a lighthearted one, but like,
I love it.
yeah. But in all seriousness though, like me and my wife were dating. Like, I've seen her shortcomings and she saw mine, and like we're weighing out the options. Like, man, she checks all these boxes though. I can deal with that stuff because she's such a beautiful person. Um, and vice versa. I think she can deal with the stuff that I bring, the baggage I bring. So, um, but we didn't settle though.
Right, right, right. I got you. I got you. No, good, 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 good. The you said so much in there. That's I mean, it's good, man. But yeah, deal breakers are so you may mention as far as that the red flags are also the deal breakers for you. You made mention of how you she's easy to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
easy to be with. Of course, you made mention of if you was away for 2 or 3, 6 months, but how is she easy to be with when you are home? Because we all go through stuff, right?
Mhm.
And living with somebody else is a whole different book. And
Right.
then being married to them with the expectations that come with that and the
Mhm.
responsibilities that come with that, that makes it not so easy for a lot of people.
Right.
So you're saying that because she is, in your eyes, the right one for you, it
Yeah.
makes it easy. How does that look that it makes it easy when you're home?
Yeah. Um, like she's just very selfless, a very selfless person. Um, and like it almost drives me crazy sometimes because she always like she puts herself first and like asks me what I want and like asks me, hey, what do you think? What do you want for dinner? What do you want to do
That's
next?
your
What do you
first
like?
one.
And I love that though too because it's like, dang, like she really wants to make me happy, you know. So she's just a person that she just doesn't really think about herself. Like she's the type of person like her birthday's coming up on Monday, and I'm always like, hey, what do you want for birthday? I don't know. I don't I don't want anything. What do you want for Christmas? I don't want anything. Um, like it drives me crazy, but at the same time, that's just like the beautiful personality that she has. Like she's just extremely uh just
Selfless.
selfless, man. Yeah. That's
Selfless.
number one. Um, and
That makes
then
it easy right there.
absolutely, absolutely. And then just like our personalities really mix together well. I hope you can tell there's I'm not showing everything, but I am a silly guy. And we can just be silly together. Like the other day, we just doing some music on the TV, and we were just having a dance party. It was
Come
just
on.
out of nowhere, so just stuff like that, man. And she can just really accept my just just silliness, man. At home, when I'm most comfortable, the people that know me well, they
Mhm.
know I'm really rambunctious, just like silly,
Come
just
on, rambunctious.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, and that. But most of all, though,
I love
like
it.
most of all, is it's her faith. Like, that's another thing. Like, man, my mind's going crazy. The person that a person could be right for you
Uh
is
huh.
if that person scares you. Like when I first met her, I was like, yo, I really gotta get my stuff together. Like I was intimidated. I'm like, she got a good job. She is doing this, this, and this at the church. She is like, she got her stuff together. She's smart. Um, I don't know if I'm good enough, but
They
after
always say that a good woman makes a man want to do better and be better.
exactly, and that's what she
Yeah.
made me want to do. That's what she made me
Hmm.
want. But yeah, but like that with her faith, I'm like, man, I don't know if my faith is like strong enough to be with her. Like, as a man, I'm supposed to, you know, uh, pray over his wife and like this, and this, and like that intimidated me. But I just got over those fears and just, you know, by faith, just kind of pursued her. But
Right.
she lives at home, um, and like I, the fact that that she's a woman of faith, um, even when she makes mistakes, even when we argue, I know that there's going to be some type of reconciliation. We may say some things that hurt each other's feelings. We may like, you know, raise our voices, yell at each other at times, but I know that the God in us is eventually going to basically just like talk to us and like, yo, you're wrong. So change your heart a little bit and go back and talk. So like every fight that we've had, man, we've always like came back and like it's like, all right, like I'm sorry, and we had like just a better conversation, a
Mhm.
reconciliation conversation to like patch things up and stuff like that. So um yeah, like I'm not I'm never like afraid like, oh, what if she leaves me? Like I know she's in it. I know she's gonna fight for this marriage, no matter what. Like maybe you can have her or both of us on the show one day, like her background, like, you know, it's amazing to see where she's at
Right,
with what
right.
she has, you know, gone through as a child.
Wow.
You know, you could go either way, you know, when you don't really see like the strongest marriages.
Hmm.
You could go the way where you're like, oh, I haven't really seen a strong marriage before, so I'm just gonna do what I've seen and be dysfunctional, you know what I mean? Or, you know what, I know how it felt to see my parents split up and it felt horrible, and I'm not gonna let that happen. And that's what she decided to do. And that's what I praise God for.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And to what you're saying right there is that, you know, yeah, you can go either way. And that's why we have this, because people's experience goes one way or another.
Yeah.
Regardless if even if they started out or had the same quote unquote advantages.
Hmm.
Um, I had a mother and a father in my home, you know, and a
Yep.
marriage that I saw the marriage, and how they were faithful to each other, working through the ups and downs
Yep.
with each other.
Yep.
But of course, I've been married twice, you know,
Mm.
and divorced twice.
Hmm.
Um, 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 One time was I was being physically abused, you know, and it was just both times I saw that, because I like to keep things eye focused. So I'm not going to say anybody, either one of them. I'm going to say that I did not make the right choice, the best choice for me,
Sure.
for who I am, for what, you know, and I ignored some, you know, red flags. I had my, you know, the first wife who had called me back years later and apologized. You know, I was 21 years old, getting married, you know, and apologized for being physical with me, doing certain things
Yeah.
since you was young, and whatever. So you begin to see through different lenses as you grow and mature.
Yeah.
But even though I saw a stable marriage with my mom and dad, and I desired that, I wanted that,
Hmm.
they didn't make those choices that got me that, you know, or I got to a place I'm like, oh, I can't. Even I was, and both times I was trying to hang in there, right? Because of what I saw, you
Yeah.
know. The
Yeah.
other side to that is it can make you stay in a situation that you're not supposed to stay in, because you weren't supposed to be in, just because you're trying to go, I want to have something like mom and dad had.
Right. Exactly.
But I'm like, hey, but it's not fitting like that. So you got to make. So yeah, I look forward to having her on, you know, back with you.
Yeah.
Um, you keep making mention of, like, when you argue, when you fight, or whatever. So what's one of the, what you call, biggest or heaviest fights that you all have had, and how did y'all find yourself way back to each other?
Bro, you gonna make me relive this.
I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to do that.
No, it was one of those little petty things, bro. That a lot of fights. That's how a lot of fights start, honestly. Um, that could have easily been avoided, man. Easily. So this was Christmas 2019. Yeah. So we were at my wife's family's house um on Christmas Day. And you know, like I said, I was a basketball player, so I'm a big basketball fan. So NBA, basically, you know, one of the biggest days for Christmas. The last game, or the 8 o'clock slate, the primetime game was. I'm a huge LeBron fan, so Clippers Lakers on Christmas Day. I was
Right.
ready, front and center, ready to watch. Right.
Hmm.
So we had a puppy at the time. We still have him, but he was like 4 months old. So we had to like run out to uh, Bree's mom's house to let him go to the bathroom, and then run back out to Bree's aunt's house to, like, you know, continue to be with the family. When we ran out there to let the dog go potty or whatever, it was in my mind like maybe we should just take the dog and just go home, and so I can watch the game. And you know, it crossed my mind, but I was like, no, like it's still like
Wow.
4, 5 o'clock, so we still got some time or whatever. So let's just head back. I'm having this in my mind. I should have been saying this verbally, outwardly to Bree, like, hey, what do you think? Should we head home now about this, and that? So I did it. So we headed back, and I'm watching the game before the Lakers, and I'm like looking out. Bree's playing cards with other family members. It's like 7:50. I'm like, oh man, should we head home? I look, like she's having fun. I'm like, okay, cool. So game is literally like they're at the tip. They're at the tip. Um, and then Bree comes in because she had to. I didn't mention she had to work at 7 a.m. the next day.
Okay.
So literally, as the ball tipped off, Bree came in and was like, "You ready to go?" And I was just like deflated. I'm like, now. So I was all right. Let's go. So I was quiet. I was quiet on the drive home, and she knew I was quiet. And she tried to pull the phone up on, or pull the game up on her phone, and I'm just like kind of have an attitude. But so when I'm angry or upset, I just stay quiet and I just kind of get over it later. But she just kept kind of asking questions, and it was kind of hard for me to like keep that frustration and anger in.
Mhm.
And I forgot what I said, but I don't know. It made her mad, and then the argument just like spilled all the way home, and we got in the house, and yeah, we just started yelling at each other, man. It was just like
Mhm.
um, I became someone that I didn't like. You know what I mean? Um, and yeah, yelled at her really loud, bro. Like it was just really bad. To the point where it did scare her. Um, so I yelled at her. I told her to go to bed because number one, I'm trying to watch the game. Number two, like this is just not going anywhere. So
Mhm.
she went upstairs and I went downstairs to finish watching the game. To make matters worse, the Lakers lost that game. So I was already mad, and then the Lakers lose. I was double mad.
Right.
But that whole argument literally could have been, you know, it could have been stopped right before, you know, it didn't have to be get that to that point. Is what I'm trying to say. If I would have
Right.
just
Right.
communicated, like, hey, what do you think about going home right now?
Mhm.
We're already out. We can just take Benny, our dog, and just finish the evening at home. You can go to bed, and I'll watch the game at home. Like if I would have said that, would have been smooth. But
Wow.
I didn't communicate, and that's on me. So
Mhm.
yeah, but we did talk that night, and
Mhm.
'cause I had to cool down, she had to cool down, and yeah, she let me know like that's not okay, and I don't deserve to get talked to like that. And I agreed. I said, yeah, I'm sorry, apologize, and we kind of patched things up. Um, Took a little bit to get back in the swing of things, but yeah, I would say that was probably our worst argument. That was a year, just over a year into our marriage, I think. Um,
Okay. Mhm.
After that, I'm like, man, I mean, like couples go through harder stuff, but like, I feel like we handled that pretty maturely. And I think that our foundation, it just kind of showed what our foundation was like. And at the end of the day, it gave me more confidence that like something like this happened again, at least we have the tools to be able to, uh, you know, dig ourselves out of the hole that we put ourselves in.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could visualize everything you were saying, and I've also heard other couples say the same thing.
Yeah.
There's that typical story. You
Hmm.
know, I've heard, but you do know, and you said it, and I already knew where you was going when you said, I I thought I should have said something when I knew what was you thought about it when you was outside with the dog pooping. You
Yep.
thought about it then, and he was pooping, and you made a boo boo.
Exactly. Right,
And
man.
so what was happening is that was the Holy Spirit, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at it later, you're like, see, he he knew what was going to happen, you
Right.
know. And had I moved in this means right here, and we don't understand until sometimes we look at it later, and then that grows us though. That grows us to the voice of the Holy Spirit, you
Yeah.
know. When we make those boo boos and oops and stuff, and wait a minute, ain't no son told me. It was the Holy Spirit telling me, you
Right.
know. And so as we grow, we're like, nah, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. So, but yeah, that's good. But it says something about her, man. You said that she knew she pulled you away from the game because she had to go to work. You said she already knew why you was giving her that look like that sound.
Mm-hmm.
And but she tried to pull it up on her phone, man. That goes back to what you described about her earlier.
Yeah,
That
bro.
she was still considering you. She had to get home. She didn't get rest, get to work,
Mm.
but she knew where you was. She could have well bump it. You know, I got to go to work or like
Right.
that. You know, get home. But she was thinking about pulling this game up for you, and you still are all up in yourself.
I was in my feelings, bro.
Yeah, you was all up in them feelings
Yeah.
and stuff. You know, I don't want to sit on that small screen. Could have watched it on a big screen. But
Right.
you know, yeah. You don't watch the Lakers and the Clippers on a little screen. You know,
Like
but
like I had this vision that like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this on the big screen. We were with the family, like with the guys, a couple LeBron fans, so it was gonna be hype. LeBron's first year in LA, the LA Clippers, LA Lakers rivalry was like fresh, so it was just like a lot of anticipation. So I just had this vision in my mind, and that vision wasn't fulfilled. And yeah, I just got my feelings, man, and it was definitely a humbling situation, no doubt about it.
yeah. So the other good thing that you said, you know, that you dropped was that you did not like how what came out of you.
Hmm.
You didn't like how you were
Yeah,
in that moment. Yeah, you know, went on for a minute, but you didn't like that side of yourself.
right.
Have y'all had any what you call repeat offenders that where because you said you argue a lot. And so what are you arguing a lot about? Is it some of the same things or what?
I mean, I wouldn't say we argue a lot, but
Okay.
we have our fair share. Yeah.
Right.
It hasn't really gotten to the level of that since, thank God. But I would say the majority of our arguments are it's because of our personality. So we are like she's a what is it? I don't know if you're an Enneagram person, but she's a 9 on the Enneagram. It's a personality
Okay.
assessment. So basically, that's like a peacemaker. And I have like some characteristics of that too. Like we neither of us like confrontation. You know, we our natural, personality, like if something is bugging us, we'll just kind of shove it down and we'll handle it ourselves. Like if she asked me to, I don't know, clean up the kitchen after dinner and I didn't do it, she'll just be like, fine, I'll just do it myself and not say anything about it. Um, or we just had a conversation about laundry yesterday. That actually ended up being a good one. But like I've had conversations with her about like, hey, can we like fold this laundry a little quicker because clothes get wrinkled, all that stuff. Um, but our natural personality will like just kind of keep it in. So me, how I kind of handle things is I told you I'm silly. I like to make jokes to kind of lighten the situation. So
Right.
I'll joke about it, like make a joke about something that's really low key bothering me internally. Um, and she called me out on it one day, but
Mhm.
yeah, and then like she'll be like, what is that supposed to mean? I'm like, oh no, I'm just kidding. She's like, do you really feel that way? I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. And then it'll just be like an argument that way. But yeah, like with her or with both of us, really, it's just we just get to a boiling point, honestly. So it all just comes down to communication. Like if we just nip it in the bud early as
Right.
possible, those
Right.
arguments won't happen. But yeah, it's just I guess just our personality and not wanting to ruffle feathers a lot. Um, yeah, so that's the majority of our arguments, I think.
Yeah. Is it but because you use the word fighting, have you ever gotten physical before?
No, no, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I know somebody in the audience probably one that
Oh,
so yeah. And that says a lot that you call it fighting when it's, somebody else call it just fussing and arguing, And
yeah,
and so that shows how drastic it looks to you. And even when you describe it, it's like, okay, okay, you call that fighting? Okay, but from from your perspective, that's not what you want. That's heavy, right? And
yeah,
that's a bit more than you would desire for yourself. And so that's how you categorize that.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For someone else, who's listening and watching or whatever, and they find themselves, battling, fighting, fussing, arguing, um, what would you, from your experiences, suggest to them to make it better? At the end, I'm always talking about. I always leave off with be intentional about creating a better, space and better life for yourself. So,
Yeah,
how would you take your experience and tell someone, as you're probably still telling yourself, to do things differently? What would you say to someone?
yeah. As far as like preventing arguments, um, like
Preventing? Okay.
yeah, like I can go both sides.
Mhm.
It's like I said before, something as simple as just communicating. Um, it's really easy. It seems
Mhm.
easy, but I would just say over communicate. Like my wife does that quite a bit actually. Like over communicates. So I'm like, yeah, boo, like yes, yes, but like then when I think about it, I was like, okay, she's really just making sure I heard it, or she's making sure we're on the same page. Because if we're not, then an argument could uh, ensue later. But yeah, just like over communicating. But I would say though, and I think we do a decent job at this, is when an argument starts to come. Like I would say a conversation cannot be had at that moment when the emotions are as high as they are. Um, like give yourself time to number one, like think and process
Mhm.
uh, before you really say anything. Before things get too far. So for me personally, it's just a conversation with God. Like we actually got into a little. Our most recent argument was in Ohio. We were visiting Bree's dad, and so you all right. You might feel me on here on this one, but we're at a restaurant, and my almost 3-year-old, she had to go to the bathroom, and the restaurant had like two stalls in the men's bathroom, and she was just like, or she sent my sister-in-law's boyfriend to tell me like, Bree just said take her into the women's bathroom. I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not doing that. And then this dude overheard and was like, I wouldn't do that either, bro. I was like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. Like, especially as a black man, a man in general was a black man in like a predominantly white area. Like, I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable. So I brought her back and she was just like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm not taking her to the women's bathroom. But me, I automatically assumed that she knew that I was uncomfortable with it, but she didn't take it as that. She was just like, she just thought I was just being stubborn. So she like got up and took her. I was like, you ain't gotta have an attitude about it. And then she like gave me one of them looks. I'm like, dang, okay. So yeah. So we got home and she was like, can we talk about it? I'm like, yeah, I wasn't quite ready to talk about it, but I heard her out. And then I went outside and I shot some basketball for like 10, 15 minutes. And that's a great way for me to process is just, one of my safe spaces, basketball. So then I went back inside and I said, all right, I have 3 points. And she heard me out. So like, man, when emotions are high, just try your absolute best to not have that discussion or say anything at that moment. Um, as much as you want to, as much as you want to tell that person about themselves, like you're most likely going to say something you regret or that's gonna hurt their feelings. So
You didn't think about taking her to the into one of the other stalls with you in the men's bathroom?
so all of them were taken. Like there's only
Oh,
two.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
So I
what
don't
you
know.
said when you said it was only two. Okay.
Yeah. So we were
Right,
sitting there for like 5, 6 minutes, and
right.
she's 2, so we're not confident how long she can hold it. So um, yeah, yeah. I'm
No, I
just yeah.
got you. I
I
got
wish
you.
I said I'm not
No, I
comfortable with
got
it,
you.
but I
Yeah,
thought she
yeah,
would understand. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And so I'm not going in the women's bathroom either.
no, yeah,
And
same.
yeah, and what you doing there, black man? Whatever. He did
Yeah,
this to me. You can't say I did nothing because I wasn't even in there. Or
right,
and
exactly.
and so yeah, that so parenting and relationship, all that intermingling, right? At the
Yeah,
same time. And so that's why they always tell some people, when you get married, enjoy each other first before you jump right into
yeah,
a family. So you
absolutely.
can build each other as a couple first. Some people do that, some people don't. Some people they have a family before they get a marriage. And
Yep.
so the cars are different for different people, but
Mhm.
there are times when you're in relationships that now your relationship personalities and the intricate aspects of a relationship are now intermingled with parenting.
Mhm.
um, and then on both levels, there are expectations, you
Right.
know. And so you come back to the table. I see all that. Come back to the table, and she like looking at you, what's going on, you know. And you're like, I'm not taking it in that whatever that. And so
Yeah.
what happens then? The C word that you were talking about is communication.
Yep.
So, and because assuming is always a bad thing, right? Uh,
Yep.
you just say ASSUM. When you assume, you make a ASS of you before me.
Oh, that's a bar, bro.
Hey,
That's
I
a
heard that's somewhere, and it stayed with me because I'm like, yeah, that's real.
it is
And
real.
so, and so, what happens is we gotta what's in our head gotta come out our mouth to go in their ears to get in
Yeah.
their head to get an understanding. And all I get an understanding.
Yeah.
So I'm just expecting you to understand. I had articulated to you, hey, look, baby, I don't mind, but the men's stalls are full, and we don't know when she gotta go. How long she can hold it. Can you do
Yeah.
it if you don't mind, baby? So sometimes the way I would just say to anybody out there, though, sometimes the way because I've had to check myself on many times when I didn't probably say enough that was in my head or come off the best way. you
Yeah.
know it's like, this is the situations. I'm gonna like paint the picture because it's a different perspective and different lenses. For instance, if you're sitting in a car waiting for somebody to come out the store, man, what's taking so long?
Right.
What
Yeah.
is it? But if you go in the store with them, you'll see the whole picture, you'll understand everything. But
100%.
you in the car, so you don't know what's going on or whether you got expectation that should be coming out. I done seen 5 people go in that store and they ain't come out yet, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so yeah. So I got you, man. I got you. That's one of the things. Have y'all ever had couples therapy?
So we actually haven't since we got married. We did premarital counseling though. That did help us kind of build those tools and foundations before that. But I mean, we're in therapy separately. Um, but yeah, I haven't really done it together as a married couple yet.
Yeah,
That's probably something that will happen eventually, I think. But
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's something I'm talking about. Towards the end. for self-awareness. But that's something I have a therapist, right? And so I love therapy. It gives you opportunity to release and receive, release toxic and receive tools,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And
For sure.
so before it's like your regular checkups with your doctor. It prevents you from having to go in the hospital sometimes. You see,
Mhm.
and so it don't have to get so tragic if I'm getting my regular checkups. And so it does that sometimes group coupling, counseling, and sometimes one-on-one. With the one counselor. But it's really good. I advise it. I'm admonishing everybody in the audience to
Yeah,
definitely look into that.
for sure.
Yeah, because we do everything we can to upkeep our clothes, take them to the washer, get them tied, and whatever like that. Take them to the cleaners. We do our car. We do everything so it won't get so bad
Right.
with everything else, right? Oh, it's time to get some more groceries in this house before we run out of this milk. It's
Hmm.
running low, right?
Yeah.
We just run out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that same thing we need to apply for our own individual life, right? But also when we're a couple, and I would advise people, if you got a family, and they get to a certain age, look for those, those places you can go where the family can go, because it's all about pouring the best into myself and my people so the best can come out of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I've had to learn that, the hard way, whatever. And it's not a thing about. And there was this couple. If we go to the next one, there was this couple. Marty Williams actually has an episode in season 1. Take a look at his. He talked about
Yeah.
how he realized 70 years old. Talked about how he realized he's not marriage material after 3 marriages.
Dang.
And so, and he was contemplating the last one. They're separated, getting back together, and should they, and so forth. And he was talking about the differences that's there that caused them to separate.
Hmm.
So my advice to him, I said, well, first of all, I am for marriage, and I'm definitely for y'all. If I said, but I would not advise y'all to get back together unless you incorporate something new and different. Because it's insane to expect a different result
Absolutely.
and you're doing things the same way. That's
Yep.
insanity. That's insanity. And
Yep.
so I'm like, y'all need to incorporate therapy, couples therapy. It gives you an extra tool. It gives you, I said, well, if y'all do that, I would say, yeah, go give it another try. But if y'all not going to do that, and then both persons have to be willing to do that. It can't be, well, I'm going to go, you'll go, okay, now you're getting better and it's still here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, I manage that for anyone. And I'm gonna continue to just, like I said, I love the fact that you keep making reference that y'all have a for sure and a strong foundation, and there's certainty there. So when these hiccups come, as you grow through these hiccups, you're gonna find yourself, growing individually, but as a couple, through the hiccups, you learn, okay, how to not let this happen again, how to do it the next time.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah. So
For
that's
sure.
I'm glad that you're sharing real, that not even when you're in a relationship, right? You're
Yeah.
gonna have to you gotta work.
Got to.
It takes effort. It ain't gonna just be easy because you found the right person.
Right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Definitely.
Because you said again.
I said it definitely takes work. You're right about that.
Yeah, yeah, it takes work. So I appreciate you being transparent like that, because that's a real thing. That's not no sugar coated thing, or something you see in the movies, or looks all sweet. No, man, when it gets real and it shows you yourself. Relationships with other people show you yourself. Yes, you see them, but it always show you yourself.
Yep. No doubt.
Yep, yep, yep. Man, that was good. Man, what? What? That was just the second one. Come on now. What makes listen, hey, listen. And it's because this may be, I don't know if this is gonna be a part 2 or whatever. But listen, you said y'all was together for 7 months. There's somebody out here that living single right now. and they may have gone past that or getting close to that. What made you say this is it? When I'm sure I know. What made you say I'm sure I know? And a second part to that, some of the arguments that took place afterwards. Do you wish you would have known about some of these things before, or before you said I do?
Well, yeah, of course, of course. You know, it'd be great to go into a marriage as equipped as possible. Um, but I don't think everything that we go through, like God can use. So I'm not, I'm okay with it happening. So, it's all good. But what made me think that she was the one, man? Uh, it's funny, man. Like people say, when you know, you know. Um, I honestly, I did my due diligence, bro, before I even spoke to her. Um,
Okay.
you know, I went to, I was really a visitor at her church, and then I met
Come
some,
on now. Check you
yeah,
out at church first. Let me see what you got going on. Okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So like, I didn't know her before I went there, so I started going there. I was going there for a few weeks, and she was on the praise and worship team, and I saw her. I was like, dang, bro, like, this is not what I was expecting. Like, shoot, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't ready or trying to date at the time. Um, so I was just like, dang, she is gorgeous, but I can't like fixate myself. Like I just can't right now. I can't. So um
What did she have on? What you said she was on the praise team? What she had on?
it's funny, man. She asked me that all the time. She's like, "Do you remember what I was wearing?" I can't tell you what she was wearing. I just can't. I can't tell you what she was wearing. But I know she had her hair in a bun. That's like my favorite when she has her hair in a bun. Her hair is short right now, but yeah. But anyway, so I didn't like really talk to her or like be near her for a while because I knew I was gonna just yeah try to holler at her. So I know myself, so I just kind of like stayed away. But we got in situations where we were just in the same space just on accident. So but before that, man, like I was just like asking people about her that know her. Because my boy Kenny, um, he knew her for a while at the church. So I was just asking, like, man, like, what do you like? She cool? Like, what you? I was like, oh yeah, like she's really cool. She's very nice. Um, you know, just nothing but good things about her. Then I was just like, I wouldn't watch her like a creep, but I would just, kind of watch her. Yeah.
Stalking.
But yeah, nah, bro, nah.
Church stalker. Oh no.
Nah, man, nah, I wouldn't
No,
like
I'm just kidding.
creeping.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
But
I can do a whole film on that. Church stalker. Oh my gosh. But keep going. You give me inspiration. Go ahead.
it wasn't even like that. But yeah, like after church, like people staying around, talking, hanging out. And like she would kind of be around the way. And I would just like see her, and like she always had a kid in her arms, like always, a baby, a toddler. Like I'm like, she always got a kid with her, like holding a kid's hand. You
Wow.
know, the first to hold a baby when there's a baby in the room. I'm just like, she seems like she's motherly. She seems like she really likes kids. She seems like she's like really comforting to kids, you know. And I think she said the same to me. Like, it's funny, man, especially boys. Whenever boys are around me, they just want to fight, like start like hitting me, punching me, horse playing. I just have that aura, and like she just kind of that's what she said about me too. But like, so even before, man, before I even really got to know her, I got some good information and like I learned a lot about her. So I had just like just good things in my mind. And then I actually started talking to her. We had our first conversation at my boy Ernest's house, and I was like, all right, man, yeah, I really like this girl. Um, but I almost fumbled the bag, bro, because I still wasn't ready. I didn't talk to her for like 4 weeks after that. Um, I was fooling, man. But like, I was like, man, if I try to pursue this, I'm afraid I'm gonna mess it up because yeah, it was about a year or so after me and my ex girlfriend had broken up, and we were together on and off for we were like high school sweethearts, college sweethearts, and that was a really rocky relationship. So I just wanted to make sure, I was healed. That's one of the things that I wrote in my notes with the question, like, um, make sure the other person is healed, man, or at least like trying to heal before you get into a relationship with him or her. But I wanted to make sure, like, man, am I good? Like, God, am I good? To be able to pursue her. And it got to a point where I did. But this is a long-winded answer. But like when we were dating, though, our first date, bro, I texted my boy. We were at Cold Stone, 4 to 11 p.m. for 7 hours. We closed the place, bro. Closed it. The person that worked there was like,
Gotta do
so
it.
we're closing. I was like, oh shoot, sorry. Like we were at a table for a few hours and we moved over to the fireplace and just like talking. I texted my boy Josh, man. Um, right after I was like, yo, she's the one, bro. Like I'm not even I'm not even bullying with you. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, bro. So, but even after that, bro, like I started to see her motherliness, if that's a word. I started to see her selflessness, her always just wanting to make me happy, put my thoughts before hers. Um, I saw like she was all about her family. Um, like that's what we do. Like if we're not obviously here with our kids or like on date night or whatever, like our next thing is like, hey, we're gonna kick it with Bree's mom. We're gonna kick it with my mom and dad. Like that's just we just have those same values and desires to like really spend time with our family. So I really like that about her too. Um, and then like she started just being really silly. I'm like, yo, what? And like we could just be really silly together. And I felt like I didn't have to just like hold back or like be somebody else. You know what I mean? So yeah, just little by little stuff just started really coming out and like confirming, honestly. So and like she did admit to me like, she was going through some just like mental health battles while we were dating, which at first I was like, but then I'm like, you know what? She trusts me enough to tell me this stuff. And my ego was like, okay, how are you battling this? I'm supposed to be making you happy. Like, how you know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to be happy with me, but like, same time, it's like, man, like, my God, man. Like, so I love that she opened up to me and told me like, hey, I'm battling with this.
Wow, yeah.
And the thing I loved about it too was she didn't just sit in it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't address it; they just kind of ignore it. She's like, "No, I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to worship more. I'm going to do this, this, and this to get out of it." And like I seen her work at it. You know what I mean? And even now, like postpartum depression is a real thing. Like she battled it a lot with our first, and like I seen her work out of it. So like, yeah, all the foundation was there, and it was just like I'd be stupid not to put a ring on it. And yeah, my boy Andy Mineo, he's on Reach Records too. He has a song called Layup. And my boy Josh is like, bro, that's a layup, bro. It's easy. Like that's an easy decision. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right. So yeah, man.
Wow, I
Yeah.
love it, man.
Yeah. So yeah, man. And like, yeah, I just thank God, bro. Like, um, honestly, I've never, ever, ever, ever talked publicly about like my my ex girlfriend and like the stuff that we put each other through. I'm not gonna say even the stuff that I put her through. You know what I mean? And that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do was leave her or like go our separate ways because we were dating since I was 15 years old. And then we officially broke up when I was probably 24, 25, bro.
What?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were high school sweethearts, dated most of college, and then we broke up after college for a while. Then we got back together for a little bit. And then God just like said, like, this isn't it, man. Like, um, I heard a sermon. Uh, my my old pastor talked about uh, Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt to the promised land. So as he led them out of there, it took them forever to get to the promised land, to the point where the Israelites were like, let's just go back to Egypt because we know we're gonna eat there. We know what to expect there. We have somewhere to sleep. Out here in the wilderness, man, it's wild. Like we don't know if we're gonna eat. We don't, it's uncomfortable out here. So,
That's how
um,
some people feel when they come out of jail.
yep, yep. So my pastor was like, what is your Egypt and what is, the promised land? I broke down crying, bro, so hard, man. I knew exactly what he was talking. He was like talking to me. Like I'm sure you've been in a sermon where it's like you the only one in the room. That's exactly what it was, bro.
Yep.
So that was what the day I was like, it has to end. It has to end. So um and I tell this story now, like to people that are like a mentor, people that have questions about relationships. Like my ex-girlfriend was my Egypt, man. Like she was comfortable. I was with her since I was a child, pretty much. The wilderness was actually breaking things off and being alone and not being in the familiar and the comfort anymore. But my promised land is Brianna Christian Trammell, my wife right now. Like
Ah!
that's just what it is, bro. So I thank God, man. 100%.
Oh, wow. 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 So beautifully. Well said. Well said. So, what is it that made you feel inferior to pursuing this relationship with Brie? What made you think you would mess it up? Was it something that you did in your previous that you were still holding on to? What made you feel, apprehensive about it?
Yeah. So man, it's a twofold question. So the first thing that you said, yeah, it was the life that I lived before. Um, you know, having sex outside of marriage, um, just being out there. I mean, I wasn't out there like that, but partying, all that stuff, just living in the world, right?
Right,
Um,
right.
my wife though, like she was her mom was married to the pastor of our church. So like I see her, I'm like, okay, she's in the pastor's family.
This is a
Um,
whole movie.
yeah, like I've at that point I was never like when I was little, we lived in Ohio. We were close to our pastor and his family, but it was I was little. I was like 4, 5 years old, so I didn't. So, but at that point, I'm like, man, I've never really like the most I've mingled with a pastor was like, hey, how you doing, pastor? Good, how are you? And like a couple of seconds, you know, never like shared a meal, went over to his house, spent like actual real time to like, you know what I mean? So that was intimidating. Um, and I was like, I wouldn't say I was a baby Christian. I was probably like 3.5 years in, so kind of a baby a little bit, but um, so I was kind of self conscious about where I was in my faith walk. I'm just like, oh, I'm not there yet, and like I think I just assumed I'm like she is in a pastor's family and she's probably all the way up here in my face. She's probably gonna look at me and be like, yeah, you ain't about it like that. So that it was just all like really like lies in my mind. I think um and getting to know her more, like she went to a Christian school like all her life pretty much, and
Mhm.
so just our backgrounds are totally different. But when I got to know her, I'm just like, man, like I don't know why I was tripping. Um, it literally wasn't even as bad as I was trying to make it out to be, and
Right.
yeah, so
Right. It was different and it was new,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
saw it as something good,
yeah,
something elevated. You
right,
know, like you said, you didn't want to mess it up. I could see the whole thing. I'm working on this. I'm listen. The inspiration that's coming through from your sharing your
yeah,
story
yeah,
is huge right now. I see the church stalker, because church stalker, right? Don't, but to show how, how he was, trying, no, I don't want to, or whatever, and then he gets to this place that I saw y'all sitting at the table, and you're feeling some kind of way, but you're looking around, do I deserve all this? I don't want to mess all this up, and, and man, that's real that's real.
yeah.
And you had an opportunity now to just so y'all was dating how long before you got invited to the dinner table?
So we were dating about a year. Or are you asking when I got invited to
So you didn't get to the dinner table until after y'all was married?
No. It was actually well before that, man. Sorry, bro, I gotta grab my charger. But honestly, man,
You're gonna have to grab mine.
it was a couple months in, bro. That I started going to like family dinner and stuff like that.
Right, right.
So yeah, it was pretty early, bro. It was pretty early.
Okay. I mean, man, that is awesome. I mean, you're talking to people who are, living single, whatever, pursuing relationships, people who are also already in relationships. So from your story, from your sharing, they're able you're able to hit on all levels and give somebody something. But listen, let me move on to this right here. What would you say makes it hard in today's society to be single? What makes it hard for single people in today's culture?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. Um, I mean, obviously, I've been out the game for a while, but I do have some people in my life that are single. Um, so really, my first thought is just the whole you know dating apps and stuff like that, social media. Um, like one of my guilty pleasures is Catfish, man. I love that show. Um, I watch it a lot, but that social media and the apps kind of, I don't know, it's kind of messing things up for the most part. I know a lot of great relationships have been made, created through these apps and stuff like that, but man, just like the dishonesty and deceiving and stuff like that. Like a lot of people maybe don't have the trust that that people may have back in the day. Like
Mhm.
um so I even heard like stories like friends and stuff like that to where like yeah, just horror stories. I would say that, but also too like in the church world, man, I hear a lot of people say that events, ministry events and stuff, are usually catered to like, hey, we're gonna have a men's gathering. We're gonna have a women's glory service. We're gonna have all married couples. You're invited to learn how to this, and this. But I've heard a lot of people complain like, man, there's not a lot of stuff for singles. There's not events for singles. There's not a lot of, you know, that's why I love this platform you have. There's not a lot of just stuff that teach you how to be single, how to be a good single person, how to be a Christian single person. So I do hear that a lot. And when I was single too, I was like, yeah, that it makes sense. Yeah, I definitely didn't really have anybody kind of pouring into me on like singleness and stuff. So um another thing too is just really just being alone, man. Um that's why I think a lot of people end up like being with the wrong person or settling
Mm,
because they're afraid
mm,
of being alone. Um,
mm,
that wilderness, right, that I was in, um,
mm,
when I was getting over my ex, and it's a scary place to be, man. It really
mm,
is. Um, we're made to have companionship,
mm,
whether that's with a mate or a friend. Um,
mm. That's good.
and I would say that's probably the hardest thing about being single. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
people probably feel me like when I was single, like I would see a girl, I'm like, oh, maybe she's it, maybe her, should she be her, maybe. I'm like, man, I just gotta stop thinking like that, man, and just chill and just live. You know what I mean? So,
Were you
uh,
lusting?
oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm a man. I'll admit
So
that.
it wasn't. Maybe she's the one that was like, "Ooh, ah, maybe."
She's pretty. Yeah, yeah. I'll definitely admit that. I'll never.
You was ready.
Man, yeah, like it's yeah, I would say it's normal, but it's always a battle to ask God to just give you the strength to, man, just look at a person in a godly manner, and now it's all about honoring my wife now, you know what I mean? Um and just trying to check myself, and um yeah. So um
I love the way she is adorned. Thou is adorned quite well, my sister.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly,
God
man.
has been good. God has graced you very well.
Exactly. Um who was it? I think David Robinson, he's a Hall of Fame NBA basketball player. I think it was him that said, I would rather another woman think I'm mean than this woman thinking I'm nice, and like my wife thinking I'm like flirting, or you know making an advance at her, I'm interested in her.
Wow.
I wouldn't
Wow.
say I wouldn't say I'm at that level, but
Wow.
I I like I kind of get antisocial, you know what I mean? Like I have a corporate job, and just like a lot of places of employment, they do like happy hours and stuff, and I always say no. I'm just like, I mean, it's number one, it's at 4:30, where my kids are like, it's like their prime hours. Like it's like 3 hours for bedtime. So that's a really important window for me, number one. But number two, like I forgot where it says in the Bible, but God calls us to live a quiet life. You know what I mean? I'm not like, I have friends, man. Like I do. I have friends. I have boys. Me and my wife have friends, couples. So we do have fun. It's not like I'm just like keeping myself away from fun, but um it's just like, yeah, like going out having drinks. I mean, I usually just say no, honestly, because yeah, I just like to live a quiet life, man. Like all I want to do for real is make a living for my family and mentor some athletes and be at home, bro. Like
Right.
that's all I want to do, man.
I hear a song coming out of that. Oh my
What's that?
gosh. All I want all I want to do is just be with you. That's all I want to do. All I want to do is just be with you. Yeah, man. What? Listen, that's awesome. That's respectful. That's honorable. It sounds like it's a little bit of you, who you are, mixed in with respecting who she is.
Hmm.
Respecting the platform that you're on as a married man.
Yeah,
Because you will find some people they may be married but not seriously married as you are, so they'll go to something, or either other people, they're not married so they can't relate, we're talking different languages, you know and
yeah,
and so you got to know what's good for you, what works for you and yours.
exactly.
So this is what he's saying. This works for him, y'all. You know, something else may work for you, but you got to make sure that it does work.
Exactly.
And not working against it.
For sure. Yeah, that's a good point. It does work. It works for me personally.
Right.
And I would not look at anybody differently if they didn't do the same thing, like whatever works for you. But I do know, I don't know the stats exactly, but a lot of affairs, you know, start with people in the workplace. So, um,
Fraternizing.
yeah, it's just important for me to keep those boundaries up, honestly. Because like at work, like your work friends or your coworkers, you spend just as much time with them, if not more, than
If
the
not
people,
more.
you know, at home. So it's easy. It's very easy to, you know, grow close to someone and confide in someone
It is, man. It is.
and me especially, I got to be careful because you know I'm a person that likes to just listen to people, and you know it's just something that you know God made me, not made me do, but uh created me to do, or gave me like a skill, is just like have a listening ear and encourage people. So people just like, so I used to work with interns a lot and like students, and they would just like first time meeting me, man, just like, yeah, man, you know, me and my girl just broke up, and you know, I'm just really sad, bro. Like, and they would just like spill their heart out. I'm just like, dang, man, like, what, like, do I have some on my face or like tell me all your problems? Like, but I don't mind it, man. I like doing that. So,
Yeah.
but it can get dangerous if it's like a female coworker and like they're confiding in me about something, and like there's an easy path where like boundaries can get crossed, and
Yeah.
you know, so it works for me, man, just to keep those boundaries up and know what I should and what I should not be doing. So that's just my formula.
That is so huge. And I'm glad you made that point, because people who are living single right now and pursuing a relationship, before you even get married, if you're going to be committed in a relationship, the other person needs to know that they can trust you, that they are safe with you, that you are protecting that relationship even when they're not present, right? And you said it. It is very easy in the corporate world to get very close with people. You're with them just as long, if not longer. I used to work in the school system. As you was
Yeah.
talking, I saw myself back there again. I was working around mostly ladies. You know, it was like two of us guys in the school, and then when another one came, I said, "Oh, we get another brother in here," you know. And who was in the teaching staff. The other ones was, you know, janitors and stuff. And so I remember Tabitha Abraham. I remember Carissa Bryant. I looked for. They were like what you call um work wives or work sisters,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
And we shared, you start talking about more than school, nothing inappropriate, but we was becoming very connected like family, right?
Right.
And it ended up being outside of school when something was going on, and they said, you invited to this or whatever, you know. And I found some kind of solace in that at times when things wasn't going well at home.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't trying it. They weren't trying that with me. I wasn't trying that with them. It was being in there, in that call that sunshine company, right? But to what you're saying is that if you are in a relationship, you got to know yourself. You said this earlier. I'm like, how can you be? I'm jokingly saying this because I got to keep myself. But you know, I'm gonna say watching. You were watching her in church. You know, I'm not gonna say church stalker. Okay, so you're church watching, and you're seeing her, and you like, that's discipline, right? Not to
Yeah.
go pursue it immediately. You was vetting, but you wasn't pursuing. So it's also discipline to say, I'm in a relationship. I know me, or I know how things could get.
Yeah.
I want to refrain from the appearance of evil, right?
Yeah.
Anything that could appear a certain way. Um, so I'm not going to go to these things, and you know, but yeah, it's kind of hard when people coming to you because you got counselor written over you. You know, you got a vibration that says I'm a healer, I'm a helper, And so people gonna thrive to you, you know, and you don't want to appear to what you were saying earlier about the guy. I don't want to appear mean. I just gotta keep some boundaries,
Right.
you know. And
Exactly.
so sometimes you have to bring your wife or someone else into the conversation, into the picture, into the frame to some extent. You know, I'm just talking to everybody out there, just to make sure, or maybe another coworker or something, and definitely keep it public, you know, because you can keep it where, hey, we're in a public setting, because I don't know, you never know where the other person's head is.
Right. Exactly.
You're thinking well, but they could be thinking, you know, something else.
Yeah.
And so, or just that vulnerability, they could see you as, but you care. Because I was, you know, this summer there was this girl, you know, she was young lady, she was with another guy. I didn't know at first she was with another guy, and we was becoming friends and stuff. And then she was like, "You do this, he don't do this, you do." And I didn't like that, because I kept hearing her exalt me, but devalue him. But
Yeah.
I'm like, but you with him, and I
Yeah.
don't like that picture
Right.
that you are praising someone else over the one you're with, and you're
Yeah.
going back to.
For sure.
You know, don't do that. Don't be with him then. And then probably would talk. But other than that, yeah, I didn't like that. And so people could see you, another female could see you as that healer, that helper, that guy who cares,
Yeah.
and get drawn there. So those boundaries are good. Right now, before you were married, you know, I mean, before you was married, you were showing that you had some discipline about yourself, you know. And so to do it now, that's a good thing, man. That's real good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just yeah, man. Just wanted to really get myself right, man. Yeah, just to be like completely transparent, bro. You know, I since I was probably 12 years old, bro. You know, I battle with like a pornography addiction. Um, thank God, you know, that's why, you know, I have the struggle with lust today. Um,
Right.
I do have, but thank God, you know, I don't know, like I guess once addicted, always addicted. So I'll never be like, oh, I'm over it, you know, because I know something can change just like that if I see something or you know. But anyway,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
hasn't
Yeah.
it hasn't been the struggle for me over the
Right.
last 7 8 years, thankfully. But yeah, man, just like really,
That's real.
yeah, taking that time to work on myself, man, and drop as like you'll never go into a relationship with zero baggage, but like as
Never. Never. Never.
yeah, as much baggage as you can drop off of you though, the better. So that's one of them. The other one was like, how do I have appropriate boundaries with females, and stuff like that. And I feel like I found that happy medium even
Yeah.
before I met my wife. So
That's good.
yeah, it's
That's good.
great, man, before all that. So
Yeah. 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 And to what you were saying, in the word, the Bible puts it this way: lay aside every weight that so easily beset you, you know, or
yeah,
cause you to sin, you know. And
yeah,
so, as you said, doing it, getting rid of as much of those as you possibly can,
yeah,
because it's going to be a constant work anyway. Now, when you're connected with someone, when you're living single, it was just you. Now
yeah,
you're dealing with their weights and
yeah,
your weights.
right, exactly.
Yeah. And
And
I'll
like
just
people,
a quick,
oh, I was gonna say people think like pornography. I've heard people say, "Oh, I'll just stop. You know, I'll just stop when I get married." Like, hecky no. Like,
nope.
you ain't. You ain't. The baggage that you have that you're deciding to keep, and you get married, you're gonna have that, and it's gonna be magnified. You know what I mean? Um, so it's important, man, to
Good
to
job.
nip it as early as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good talk. Good talk. Yeah. And just to do the work, being honest enough with yourself. We're all over. We're all questions and everything has been integrating with each other. I love it. But being so self-aware with yourself to know, hey, I can't do that. You know, I can do this. You know, I can go here. I can't go there. You know, no, because that probably, you know, and so just knowing yourself in these days and time, well, I guess that's pretty what you've been used to. It's not about the magazines or whatever. I mean, things pop up on your phone, TikTok, and all kind of stuff. You
Bro,
know,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Commercials look like porn sometimes.
They do, man. Yeah, there's this I don't know if you've seen that Kim Kardashian commercial. It was like a lingerie commercial.
No, not yet.
I'm just well, good. I'm just like, dog. And then my wife even said something like, "What is this?" It's like, I don't know.
And lingerie to sell. Oh, this Oreo is so good.
Right.
Oreo. Like, this is Oreo commercial.
You ain't even selling lingerie.
Yeah. Why you in lingerie with those? And get in the bed with the Oreo because I got milk and cookies beside the bed. You know, that's not what I'm getting out of that. You know, right. That's not going to be the lasting thought. Okay. Yeah. Oreo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oreo. Okay. Yeah. So, settling. You made mention of it earlier. What would you say looks like settling? Many people say, I'm not going to settle. Some people feel like they have. What looks like settling to you?
Yeah. To me, it's when the idea of, the fear of being alone trumps being with a person that you shouldn't really be with, a person that doesn't check the boxes, a person that doesn't lift you up. So we talked about Lecrae earlier. He really gave me a good visual of how to look for a woman. So he said, just imagine your life like a race, right? Like Paul says, and you're racing, you're running towards God, right? You may see women like behind you, you may see like women ahead of you. Don't go back to that woman or that man like, come on, dragging them, carrying them, holding them on your shoulders, all that stuff. Like, you want a significant other that's right there with you, right? Jogging with you, like, we going? Yeah, we going, right? Sometimes I might fall back, sometimes Bree might fall back. We gotta carry each other sometimes. But basically, if that person isn't, with your values, so with me, following God, if that person isn't, bringing me closer to God, influencing me in that way, helping me be a better person overall, motivating me to be a better person, and vice versa. If that person isn't doing those things, and I'm sticking with that person because they're cute, the sex may be good. Other things, they have money, security, right? They have those things that are shallow, I guess to say, or that shouldn't be as high. Yeah, superficial. That shouldn't be that high on the list. You're settling for that because they give you some good things, but they're not good for you. But you decide to stick with them, and you're afraid of what the other side looks like if you do decide to leave them. You're afraid of being alone. You're afraid of starting over and stuff like that. To me, in my mind, I think that's settling.
Settling, right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, me personally, like with my previous relationship before my wife, that's what I think I was doing. And on the other side, I think that's what she was doing because we were just really familiar with each other. We're comfortable.
Oh, that's what that word.
That's the road I was like traveling on. Was settling, So to anybody out there that's watching or listening, if you feel like you're in that situation right now, um, you feel like you're settling, there's goodness on the other side. There's a better alternative on the other side. It may not look like it right now. It may take some time. It may be extremely uncomfortable. It may be a lot of pain that will go into that situation. But I'm a walking testimony of things getting better, like that other side, getting through that wilderness and getting to the promised land, the land of milk and honey. Land of milk and honey tastes good, man. So
You made mention of that again, and that was why they wanted to go back to Egypt, because they was familiar with it. You made mention of people settling. You settled, she settled, because y'all was familiar. Familiarity will cause you to want to stay and settle. I know this. It's not the unknown. I'm from, and that's the thing. The unknown. Well, what's out there for me? You know, well, what if I don't? Whatever, and so I love it. I love it. People will settle because of familiarity.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and
easy to do that. Like
it's easy. It's easy to keep going back to it. It's easy, I mean, it's yeah, it is real easy. But God told Abram to leave your familiar people, leave your familiar land. I got something better for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where we are. We have to understand. We have to let God give us the better, lead us to the better. Abraham, he left. He had to leave Lot behind and whatever, so that, and I said that these questions we can apply across the board of life, right? As it relates to job, church, friendships, whatever. Red flags, paying attention to. Are we settling? Talking about deal breakers across the board of life.
Yeah.
And so, where are we settling on a job? With the way somebody is treating us.
Yep.
I don't care how familiar you are with the way somebody is treating you. I don't care how familiar you are in your DNA, your family, wherever it may be. If you're not being valued, and if you're not feeling valued and worthy, like you are, like they value you, and they're treating you like they know that you are worth it, you need to not be there.
Yeah.
You need to not be there. That's not where you're supposed to be. That's the big red flag. That misery that you constantly feeling, that's the big red flag. Not to like what you said, Wes, not that they're not going to be no button of heads or whatever, not those things, because you said these things are minor compared to the foundation that we have, all of that. These are stuff that's going to happen, believe me, this personality stuff or whatever. But when you're feeling miserable, because even as you're speaking about these things, you're constantly talking about, how you're just adore Bree and what she brings to your life, right? So it's like, you deal with the bumping the heads and whatever. It's gonna happen. Friendships, family, But when you're around somebody and you can't say they're easy to be with, they make you feel miserable, and you're still there. You're still letting them. You're settling. You're tolerating.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So, what are some qualities that you would tell people? Make sure you see this quality before you pursue a relationship with this human being. Make sure, Christian or not, make sure you see this quality.
Yeah, man. I think the first three in my mind are the obvious ones. So just like finding out, is this person disciplined, hardworking? Like, as a woman, will you be able to trust this man to provide for you and your family? When things get hard, do you trust that this person will do what they have to do to, make ends meet, right?
Wow.
Are they going somewhere, or are they just cool with just being where they're at and not very ambitious. Um, for me, the
Mm.
second one is a good sense of humor for me. Um, so just like knowing like you can laugh at yourself, you can laugh with people, you can joke around and stuff like that. I think that's just so important to be able to.
Women love that too, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's how
Um,
you are also therapy for
yeah,
her.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
My wife called me out on a couple months ago. I think she was like, "You like to make me laugh, don't you?" I'm like, "Why you say that?" She was like, "Cause you always like you say something or you do something, and then you look right at me to see if I reacted to it." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I do like to make you laugh." Just having like a safe, really a safe space, man, to like come home from a hard day's work, or the kids have driven you crazy, and you can share a couple jokes with your loved one, man, and like just laugh. Like it's just so healthy for the heart. So
It is, man. It is. Those are good qualities right there, man. And I mean,
yeah,
'cause I love it when somebody can make me smile and make me happy. I love when I put forth that effort to do that for them. It's not
yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah.
Don't make it, yeah, don't make it hard to be around you. Don't make it hard to get a laugh out of you, a smile out of you.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
my third one is I mean, we talked about communication a lot, so that's huge, man. Like if you're friends with this person, um, or even while you're dating, like just like kind of monitor that. But really, the two key ones, man, I touched on this earlier, you know, is that person healed, man? Is that person healed from a previous relationship? Um, Not just like an intimate relationship with a significant other, or like a friendship, you know what I mean? A family member, stuff like that. Like, is that foundation there to, like, say something else happens where a relationship breaks down, or they're hurt by somebody. Like, how do they deal with that situation? Do they just let it kind of kill them, um, figuratively, or do they work to maybe mend that relationship, or do they, you know, work to forgive that other person, um, seek counsel and stuff like that, just to like really get better and heal, right? So that's really important to me. And then church, church stalking, no, just like watching with kids, man. If you're a person that wants kids, um, to see how they are with kids, actions speak louder than words. Like I knew my wife wanted kids before she even told me. You know what I'm saying? And that was like really warming to my heart, just to like see her, and how she was with kids. She served, and she still does now, in the youth ministry, nursery. So yeah,
Wow.
man, it's just so
That's good.
those are, yeah, 5 points I think are
Yeah,
really
well,
important.
yeah. Those are some awesome qualities, and these are qualities that you see based on what you know, where you are in life and what you're looking for, what you need. And like you said, if you plan on
Yeah,
having kids, whatever you want to see, does that quality exist in that person? You
right.
know. So sometimes people are looking for different qualities, but you need to be aware of yourself enough to know, do they already have it? Not potential. They could potentially get this,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
I'm already seeing this quality exist in them.
for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's good. Yeah, already seeing that quality. Speaking about the wife, speaking about what the Bible says, that a wife is a helpmate.
Hmm.
What does that look like to you? Helpmate.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
Do you see it in today's society?
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I still see it,
Okay,
especially like in like the Christian circles.
okay,
I do see a
good.
lot of, I guess, I don't know, traditional marriages that you see, back in the day and stuff like that. But I do see, like, new age new age, marriages, like more, and it's awesome. I love it. So really, my thought is like whatever the couple decides about like roles in the marriage, ultimately is up to them. Honestly, so me personally, like no task in a relationship is off limits. Like I'm not gonna, you know, turn my head up to or roll my eyes if my wife is like, hey, you know, can you like help me out with the cleaning or uh, can you cook dinner tonight? I'm not gonna be like, no, you clean. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like
Well, I
we
got a
made
question for you then to what you said earlier. Are you gonna turn your head up when she don't fold those clothes as quick as you want her to?
it's funny because she asked me yesterday. She said, "Do you think you can help with folding the clothes? Like I can throw the loads in, I can change the loads, but I have Harper, my daughter, our daughter, a lot because she's breastfeeding and stuff like that. So it's hard to get to the clothes. I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah, I'll do it. So I like honestly, we agreed. Like we talked um, before we even got married, in our premarital counseling, just like talking about like different gender roles that are traditional and stuff like that. And we did for the most part, we agreed to most things and like so and it's fortunate for me. There's a good side and a bad side, I guess. Uh, so me and my dad, we always like kind of clashed. We have the same exact personality. So whenever he taught me how to do things, fixing something, I remember one time he taught me how to drive a stick. Like our community, like we, if I messed up or something, he would get frustrated. I would get frustrated, and we would just start like arguing, and then we would just drop. So eventually, I was just like, all right, I'm not I'm not. I'm just not going to learn stuff from you because it's not working. But my mom, I hang out with my mom a lot around the house. So best believe I know how to cook some stuff. I'd have no problem cleaning. I've been doing my own laundry since I was like 13. So
Come
like,
on now.
yeah, I told my wife, I'm like, you're not marrying a typical cat, bro. I'm different. I'm different. I'll say that. But if something breaks though, good luck because I'm not very. you
Get
YouTube
up.
YouTube is a good friend of mine, but yeah, yeah,
It's something right though. Listen here.
yeah. Good luck. It's just gonna be broke for a while, but
Are we gonna buy a new one?
yeah. But I would say for the most part though, like as far as like different roles around the house, for example, um, I handle everything outside, like probably most men do. Um, Mowing the lawn, shoveling the driveway, all that stuff. Um, in the house, like I'll take care of the bathrooms. I'll clean the bathrooms. Like that's me. I'll probably cook maybe 2 days a week, so we kind of share that a little bit. So it's not really like in that sense like a very traditional marriage. But my wife really, when it comes down to it, she lets me lead. She allows me to lead. Um, but I lean heavily on her though before I make decisions for our family. Like she allows me to make those decisions, but she has amazing insight. She like I trust her opinion very much. She is like in most cases she's pretty analytical, so she like has very when she speaks is very I don't want to say calculated, but like there's a lot of like research behind it, there's a lot of thought behind it.
Yeah.
So that's why I love like getting her insight, and she has no problem with me making like the final decision, just like God intended, for the man to like really be the head of the household. She allows me to do that
Mhm.
as long as my my everything is well thought out on my end, and as long as it's God led and it's not like me just making a decision because I want to do it. Like she's all for it. So
It's good.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah,
And that's real good. It sounds good. It looks good. No, it feels good.
yeah,
But even the way you articulate as far as you weigh in heavily, to what she has to say about something. And
yeah,
God has just built, I mean, especially a good godly woman, God has
yeah,
just built these women, man, with this ability to, well, it's the ability to help, right? And so a man has to be in a place, in a space that he allows her to even help,
yeah,
that he don't have such a big ego, that he don't realize that God saw in the beginning and said in the beginning, it's hard for you, man.
yeah,
I'm
100%.
going to create you a helpmate,
Yeah,
so let her help, and especially when she's, and a part of helping is, babe, you think we should, did you think about this? You know, Oh,
yeah,
babe, we should make a right turn. I remember last time I came this way the other day, I made a right turn. I got this. I know this already. But babe, the GPS saying right too. Or the sign say right too, baby.
yeah, exactly.
We're going straight.
Right, right. Man.
Yeah, yeah. Let her, to brothers, if you
Yeah,
find a good woman who adores you, respects you, lets you lead, know that she's there for you,
right.
yeah, and let her be there for you, so that, because y'all are now there for all of y'all, together. So it's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Um, and I want to touch on too, like I believe the man it should be the head of the household, but it's not a dictatorship. Um, I hear people all the time say, the Bible says, wives should submit to their husbands, and it's not like do whatever we say. Like I said, not a dictatorship. That's not what it is, man. It's allowing your husband to lead. Um, but the Bible also says that husbands need to love our wives as Christ loved the church. So how did Jesus love the church, man? He died for us. He laid his life down for us. Not one Jesus isn't a dictator, man. He's not on the mountaintop saying you need to do this or else. Like he's set the example. So I can't do anything or I can't tell my wife or my kids to do anything that I wouldn't do. You know what I mean? I need to set that example. I need to set that standard, and I won't be taken seriously as the head of the household if I'm not setting that example. So I just wanted to make that point.
And for the first time ever in my life, it hit me like this by you saying that, is Jesus let the ego go.
Yeah, exactly.
There he is. I mean, feeling. I mean, this is a humiliating situation, but he know what his purpose is. He know
Right.
what his assignment is,
Yes.
right? And
Right.
so he's allowing himself to. I don't care how I look to all of you, man. You whip, man. She the what, man? You whip. She got you strung on. I don't care how I look to you.
Yeah.
I don't care how it looks. I know my assignment.
Mhm.
Hey, I wish I didn't have to deal with this or deal with that, Father. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, not my will, thy will be done. So as Christ is the head of the church, we're head of the wife. And so I can't be ego tripping. I gotta do what's gonna be best for my wife and my family.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Because other people, man, they can make you feel, like, man, embarrassed or focus on your ego, feel less than a man when that's not the case. Now I say to women who are helpmate, understand how to help also.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Understand how to help and not come take it over, you
Mhm.
know, and and like you said, she allows you, so she'll give her input, because that's a thin line there sometimes, you
Yeah.
know. I know some women. I'm used to by myself. I used to doing this myself, but you with man, you with me now. You with me now. And so while you're living single, make sure before you decide to commit or marry, that you have resolved that you can be submissive in the aspect of, I'm your partner. I'm gonna help. You have the final word. But I'm gonna be respectful in how I help you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Never disrespectful in how I'm giving my help, right? Because you can bring me a good plate of some good nutrition food. Daggone it, if you just bring it and slam it on the table, I don't want it. It's nutritious. I don't care. It got this. Right. I don't even know, no, take that. I'm gonna go get a burger. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So be with
it. Want to make it for me happily.
Happily, and so I can receive the help.
Yeah.
Make it where I want to receive that help. Present it, So think about it. Think about it. Don't be all now. None of that. Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So you hit on it a little bit already. What does it look like for a man to be a provider and a protector?
Yeah, for sure. Like to me, it means doing whatever, is necessary. That's legal, of course. For your family to have whatever they need. I don't necessarily believe that the man, the provider, needs to be like the breadwinner. Honestly, I wasn't when me and my wife first got married. To be honest, when she told me her salary when we were dating. It took me a second, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. It took me a second to kind of. It was a hit to the heart, but.
And see, to what you about to say, I don't know. I'm gonna make this real quick. A good woman, a godly woman, the right woman, she don't want you for the money. She said, "I got this."
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I got money. That ain't what I need. It's you. You got what? It's who you are. The essence of you. Anyway, I just want to say that to the ones that you got to make this much. Got to make. That's it. If you got your bag, if you got your money, you're wanting what you don't have that he can bring you. Go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, she was a breadwinner when we first got married, and but I think that it was important for me, as a provider, to before we got married, even before I met my wife, was focusing on getting my stuff together financially. So like I bought a condo, and it was mine. So in my eyes, I'm like, I got this for. It's crazy. I ended up getting married, like 2 years after that, but like we have a place that we can call ours, and it appreciates in value. Like I ended up selling it for double the price that I bought it, to where we're able to afford this house now. So I was getting my debt under control. So I was just trying to set me and my wife up for success before I even knew who she was. You know what I mean? So I think that is that's being a provider, making good decisions. Sometimes decisions that aren't easy to make, that may be uncomfortable right now. Like I sold my car, bro. I just sold my car, so we can pay off the loan on our Chevy Equinox. Because I'm just like, man, like car payment is ridiculous. So
wow, yes.
But I know it right now it sucks, but it's going to set us up for the long run. So that's what I think being a provider is about, man, and
Jesus,
making those decisions. Yeah,
doing what it takes.
Yeah, doing what it takes, man.
Doing what it takes. It means you're in it to win it. You're committed to it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's like Christ, man. That's that sacrifice, man. That's all that is.
Literally, man.
That's looking like Christ at the church. That's making that sacrifice. Because he said, "I don't want to taste this bitter cup. I don't want to say it.
Right.
I don't want to stay on my ride.
You gotta do it.
Nevertheless,
yeah.
Yes, you're an example of that. That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
That's good. That's good. And that's why the Father is going to continue to bless you and say what he said. That Jesus said, this is my son whom I am well pleased with, you know? And
Right.
so those blessings are going to continue to be upon you. That glory is going to continue to be on you because you are doing what it takes. It's not easy.
Mm-mm. It's not.
It's not easy. Yes, I desire something else, but I signed up for doing what it takes.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
That's some good stuff. That's good. That's good. Hey, that's probably one of the best examples of provider protect I done heard. You know, I'm, I'm loving that, man. I'm loving that picture. I'm loving that. Okay, okay. Is that before we move on to the next? Is there anything else regarding provider and protect that you want to put out?
Oh, protector. Yeah, I didn't really touch on that. So obviously being willing to, be on the front lines, right? To make sure your wife and children and whoever is in your household safe. And again, like Jesus, sacrificing yourself, sacrificing your body, um, being willing to die for uh, your loved ones, right? But I don't think it's just physical either. I think it's mentally and spiritually too. Um, so helping your significant other, helping my wife to protect her peace, right? Praying,
Oh,
praying for them, having those mental check-ins, right, with them regularly. I think that that's important because I can't have my wife like just suffering, you know, internally on my watch. And I'm sure she thinks the same thing, vice versa. Like,
Jesus.
so I think that's if not just as important, it's probably more important, man. Just protecting your spouses or your significant others, just spiritual and mental wellness.
I came that you might life have it more abundantly. I mean, to have that desire, think about Christ, to have that desire that I want your life, I want you to have an abundant life. So I want to protect your abundance,
Yeah.
you know, because we're going back to Christ being head of the wife, as Christ is head of the church.
Hmm.
He came that I might have life and have it more abundantly. If my focus is not to give you an abundant life, you know, and how I have to protect that and create and protect it,
Yep.
create and protect it, and but if she's in peace, if she's good, then it becomes easy for her to and she has the capacity now to really even help.
Yeah.
All right. Help you
Exactly.
like you need, however it is you need help.
Yeah.
And I always tell people providing, protecting on one hand, helping on another hand, it looks different for different people based on what they already got covered and what they need.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And real quick, what's your love language? And do you know what's your top love language? And do you know her top love language?
Yeah. Mine's physical touch for sure. Um, and it doesn't even have to be sexual. Um, so yeah, we actually talked about this the other day. So you said no judgment, no judgment zone, and whoever's
No.
watching, listening, don't judge us how we raise our baby, but our baby sleeps with us. And it's like a little I forgot what we call it, dockatite or something like that, just like a little cushion.
Right, right,
So
right,
she's like right between us. She's been right between us. Um,
right.
and like over the past few weeks, I was just kind of feeling like distant uh, from my wife, and yeah, like it finally came up, and I told her like I missed her, like I miss just like your touch, you know what I mean?
Right.
So now she sleeps on the other side, and my wife is closer to me. So I've been getting that more, which is exactly what I need. So, but her love language is verbal affirmation.
Oh,
Yeah. So she needs to hear that I love her. She needs to hear that she's beautiful. She needs to hear she's smart. She needs to hear that I like the food that she cooked.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So yeah. Um, and it
yeah.
does again. It does. Sometimes I have to like work to do it because I do like I don't know. Sometimes I just expect like I love you or sometimes I get quiet and I just like kind of doing my own thing. You know what I mean? So I gotta like just like work to get it out. To just remind her how much I love her and how much I appreciate her
Right.
too. Yeah, that's definitely hers. Words. It's funny we have different opinions about like birthday cards, uh, just like Hallmark cards.
Hmm.
Me personally, I just think it's just a waste of money, man. Like they must $4. You know what I'm saying? Like $4 for a card you're gonna read and just throw it away eventually. Um, but like that's her love language. You know what I mean? Like her love language is words of affirmation. So she likes to read. What like she likes the thought of people taking time to pick out a card that makes them think of her. You know what I'm saying? And it just fills her up. So I'm just like, okay, I get it. But me, I'm like, I don't care. Like, if you give me a birthday present, it don't have a card in it, I am not going to trip. Like, where the card at? Like, I'm not
For
going
the
to do
card. Oh man, no
that.
card. Yeah. Well, see,
But
like roses are red, violets are blue like you. Oh, you think violets are blue like me? Oh my God.
right, dog, right. Yeah, exactly. I did, however, convince her, like, if we're going, like, I have a bunch of nieces and nephews. Like, we go to like a little kid birthday party. I'm like, we're not buying a card for a kid because unless we're just getting like a gift card or something, then we'll get a card with it. But like a 2 year old really needs a card. Like, really? No, we're not doing that. So she's on board with that. But I totally get
We're
why.
gonna save them $4. All you gotta do is start going to the Dollar Tree, well, $1.25 tree. And
Yeah. So
oh,
that's
but I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Keep going.
yeah. So I do that a lot actually with her and my mom. Like I will a lot of times go to Dollar Tree and get a card where I can actually write, like, because you really want to hear what I think and not like what other people write. You know what I'm saying? So I express my feelings way better when I write anyway. So she enjoys that. Um, so yeah.
I agree with you totally. I'm a writer as well. I also do greeting cards, and I need to do another collection. It's time for me to
Okay.
do another collection. And so whenever I would see these, I'm like, I can do this. What? What is this saying? I could have write something better than this. Or what? And then I read something that was like real nice. I said, okay, I'm like, I can understand some people that say, but that card just it was written almost like it was written just for me. It's like the words, but I'm like, but listen, I can write something just for you, not almost. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
And then the almost end is you the only one I thought about.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
How
So
many other women probably have that card right now? Like this card, if I wrote it, is just for you, not anybody else.
yeah. Nobody else out there got this card, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's awesome. And so I do tell people, and there's a treasure in that. If you got a mate who would write you their thoughts, their heart, and feel, I got to the place I was telling my son, hey, you can just, he does rapping, all kinds of stuff too, and music. You can just write me something.
Mm-hmm.
You got to always stressing yourself, spinning that. I'm gonna keep that. I might even frame that, but that comes straight from who you are, right? And so it's something. That's why people have people to write those character references.
For
Don't say
sure.
go find a card. I need a character. I want to see what someone says about you. So it's almost like a card about you. That's with that character reference. So, but I love what you're saying. So how does she feel about you writing something as opposed to the card? Or did you do both of them?
I do. I mean, I do both, you know. It kind of just depends on a lot of times, like how, like what I want to say. Like if I go to like a Walgreens or something, I can't really find a card, then I'll just find one where I can write on. Um, but if I do find something, great. But yeah, it just kind of depends on where my headspace is at,
Right.
stuff like that. Like so.
So are you a poet?
No, I'm not a poet.
Okay. Okay.
But believe it or not, like the reason why I feel like I'm doing a decent job with this right now is just because
You're doing you are doing you are
you.
extraordinary. You are no, I was sitting here, I don't know what Inspire gonna say, but I was sitting here, I'm like, first of all, kudos to everybody. Everybody has just been absolutely awesome. Every guest, and they have their own niche. But in this interview here encompasses so much of. It's so easy to take what you're saying because you're not just saying or dropping a nugget. You are sharing. You're being transparent and vulnerable to like this is you. The essence of you is really coming out in all of this. So I thank you, man. No,
Thank you.
and yeah. So I can the way you're able to share here, I can understand how you can write something.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like I'm like more comfortable, with things that I'm saying is because I spent time writing it down. So if I would have just looked at the questions and like thought of stuff in my head, I don't think my thoughts would be as organized or anything like that. So honestly, if I ever have to have like a very important conversation where things need to be said carefully and I need to say the right thing, yeah, I write them down. I have to.
That's what the Bible says. Division.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because especially if I'm put on the spot, like if me and my wife are having like a pretty heated discussion about something, and she'll like ask for an example, and I'll just be like, like, and I just can't bring my point across, so it gets frustrating that way. So yeah, I express myself a lot better writing.
You just hit on something so big, man. In relationships, couples need to understand that the other person may not be ready to talk when you are. You've already, it's almost like when somebody called me, I ain't ready to talk on the phone right now. You already knew you was gonna call me. You got your thoughts and everything together. You just catch me out of the blue. So and so my whole thing, I let it go to message and everything sometimes. So I'm like, and I say on my answer machine says, please leave the intent of your call. So it allows me to prepare myself. I call you back. Yeah. But in relationship to what you're saying, it sounds like you're the kind of person that off the cuff, I may not be well thought in what I need to say or delivery come like it should. But if you give me a moment, give me time, then even if I have to have some notes, I can organize my thoughts so that we can have a healthy and a fruitful conversation.
Exactly. And that's why going back to that story when we were in Ohio and I didn't take my daughter to the women's bathroom, like I wasn't quite ready to have the conversation. So I went out, shot some basketball for a while and got my thoughts together. I didn't write them down, but I was able to at least have a couple points in my mind, process that, and it ended up helping. So, yeah,
that's good. That's real good stuff right there. That's that practical, real meat stuff. That's good. Okay, so no, dude, you don't realize it is. Oh, Jesus. No, it's really good stuff, man. And I keep hearing a verse every time. Everybody says something different, but this is good. So, moving on. Oh my gosh. What is it? What are some unrealistic and unreasonable expectations that men and women have of each other in today's culture? You know, that single people got of each other. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I would say like Hollywood, bro. Hollywood really just alters our expectations on relationships. Um, I think both sides we think that, not to like downplay anybody's relationship or anybody's marriage, like Hollywood makes it think that like that passion and that excitement is there like all day every day, 24/7.
24/7.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's just not the case, man. Like there's gonna be times where you don't like each other, man. Like it's just the nature of the beast, and your humanness, right? But
Yeah, that's why it's important for us to sleep because we couldn't deal with ourselves 24/7.
exactly right. We need a break from ourselves.
We get a break from ourselves when we sleep.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, or like, um, you see like a movie scene where the man says something beautiful to the woman, and like my wife's never done this to me, but like I've been in situations before. It's like, so why don't you talk like that to me? Like that was written, like a writer wrote that. It wasn't like off top. Like, come on, man, come on. So yeah, I would say that too. Like
That
Hollywood,
part.
yeah, Hollywood really does a number on us, I think. I have to like snap myself back a lot of times too. I'm like, it's just not realistic. Um, but men though, like us, we struggle with expectations from women is like we talked about money. It's like not having enough money. Um, so I think that expectation is kind of unfair. Um, like I
What
understand, like
you talking about the woman expecting him to have a lot?
yeah. Um, I see it on social media all the time, man. Like just like debates and arguments and stuff like that. So like I understand, like if the man is, you know can't afford rent and stuff like that, like okay, yeah, I get it. But yeah, what I dealt with though personally was being too nice. So I like to see myself as a nice guy, um, but I don't know, for some reason girls didn't check for me a lot. Like they did at first, but then they would get to know me, and I'm like, I'm just really nice. Like I'm not
Man,
gonna
you had no thug in you, man.
exactly right, exactly, man. That's what it is, bro. Like
Yeah.
I treat you well. Uh, I'm not like ghosting you. I'm not like I'm being authentic. Like if I'm interested in you, I'm gonna text you. If you text me, I'm gonna respond back to you. You know, um, I don't know. Like me and my boy Alvin, and he's my college teammate, and we always had this thing like nice guys finish last. Like, it was like a joke, but it was like some truth to it.
Everybody says it.
Yeah, yeah. So I just think it's so backwards, bro. Like, yeah, like we're just seen as like boring, you know. But I'll
Yeah.
take boring all day, bro. I'll take boring all day. But
Oh yeah, I don't need no teardrop. I don't need all,
yeah,
you know, I don't need all that. Nah,
yeah. Like my
no.
it's funny. Like my older sister, she was always like, I was growing up, she was always like, yeah, I like the thugs, I like the tattoos. I love it. I love it. So yeah, it's funny. But the last one too is it's kind of along the same lines. Like we can't be emotional. Like if we cry and we're punks, right? If we are opening up, we're soft. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think that's extremely unfair. Um, and I think that's why a lot of men, struggle with. I mean, women do too, but a lot of men struggle with their mental health. They struggle with silence because of the expectations, not just women on them, but like society. Um, so
I'm glad you said that because no, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, like I'm just glad my wife, like I'm, like I said, when I first had my daughters, like I'm showing my emotion a lot better. Um, like I wasn't, I was never that guy to like be able to cry. Like there'd be times where I want to cry, like I should be crying right now. I should be really sad and upset, but I just cannot do it. And I don't know why, but recently after having daughters, like it's been coming out of me more. And my wife like really sets a safe space for me to show my emotions when I need to. Like, man, I was listening to Lecrae the other day, man. He has a song called I'll Find You with Tori Kelly.
Okay. With
Bro,
R.
I just
Kelly?
no Tori Kelly. Tori Kelly.
Okay.
Yeah. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I started crying listening to that. Like it just came out of nowhere, bro. And
I'll
like
Find You?
I'll find you. Yeah. Yeah. So basically the song is just about just like battling through, tough times, whether that's depression, financial issues, death of loved ones, and stuff like that. Yeah, it get that song gets me, bro. But yeah, cause I ain't gonna lie, like I told you, we sold my car and stuff like that. So like we're trying to do things to set ourselves up financially. So my oldest daughter is going to preschool here pretty soon. So like a lot of stuff is like piling up. So as the man, as a provider and protector, I feel the pressure, and I'm not gonna lie to you, at times it does get to me. As much as I pray, as much as I ask God to like take the anxiety from me and handle it, like I think that was his way of doing that. Like finally these emotions are coming out. Um, Everything on my shoulders, and I just started crying, bro. And I think that's God's way of dealing with it. You know what I mean? In me. So um, I think that if women were able to, set that table um, for their man to be able to, be emotional that like that, man, I just think a lot of men would be, much better off, um, especially if they have sons watching them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've counted on like one hand how many times I've seen my dad, cry. You know what I mean? And when he did, it was like something bad happened, like really bad. It wasn't like normal everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Right.
so
Yeah. I think about my mom and my dad, and I talk about them often on this platform. They are even one of the reasons I created this platform because of the strength of their marriage. Before they both left here for heaven, they were married for 54 years strong, right? And so I seen this union, and to what you're just saying, I saw mom give dad a safe place, allow him to be vulnerable. I didn't see my dad cry like that, as you're saying. Um, um, you probably can count on your hands. Excuse me, a couple of fingers, but he knew that I saw a not so gotta be stronger version
hmm
around mom. So it's like he knew it was okay. He would even call my mom. He called her mom. He said, "My mom, what?" I was telling somebody about this the other day. And in that, just in how he addressed her, his mom, that said, "You provide a safe place." You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
for me, you make it. And my mom pride herself on doing that. She was the best helpmate I ever known. She did that thing, man. And when dad left, she told me, she said, I don't, I feel like my purpose is gone too. She just knew that her purpose was in him, was wrapped up in him and his life.
yeah,
It was so, and so 2 years after, then mom was gone, um and um so to what kudos to, I mean, to what you're saying is so true, man. Is being able the woman to know that she has that ability, she has that power to provide that. And for your wife, Bree, to give you, I'm looking forward to meeting her. Now you done set her up so much, man. What? I'm waiting to meet Bree. But the I'm telling you, Jesus. I said this. I heard you the comment of you, I heard, but to know that she gives you that, but because of what you shared about her, she also understands the value of it.
Mm-hmm.
So a
Absolutely.
person can give you what they understand the value of,
Yeah.
or what they need themselves. They can give that to you,
Yep.
and that's what you said with your whole organization, right?
Mm.
I'm giving. I know the value of this. I wish I had this, and so I can give. Yeah,
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt
that's that's
about it.
that's good, man. That's good. You've been dropping some, man. This is like what, dude? Well, I didn't expect all of this. And all I hear in my spirit is take your time.
Yeah.
That's all I'm hearing in my spirit was take your time, and and I also heard you needed to release, you needed to share, being able the woman to know that she has that ability, she has that power to provide that, and for your wife Bree to give you. I'm looking forward to meeting her. Now you done set her up so much, man. What? I'm waiting to meet Bree. But the I'm telling you, Jesus. I said this. I heard you the comment of you, I heard, um, but to know that she gives you that, but because of what you shared about her, she also understands the value of it.
Mm-hmm.
So a
Absolutely.
person can give you what they understand the value of,
Yeah.
or what they need themselves. They can give that to you,
Yep.
and that's what you said with your whole organization, right?
Mm.
I'm giving. I know the value of this. I wish I had this, and so I can give. Yeah,
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt
that's that's
about it.
that's good, man. That's good. You've been dropping some, man. This is like what, dude? Well, I didn't expect all of this. And all I hear in my spirit is take your time.
Yeah.
That's all I'm hearing in my spirit was take your time, and and I also heard you needed to release, you needed to share.
Yeah.
I heard that on early on, and that's when I at the beginning I heard take it, take your time.
Mm.
This is I've had Tressie was one, Tressie Davenport. Look at hers. She had hit me back the next day, and she said, "Thank you so much." She said that was so cathartic for me. She was a special guest. She hit me
Mm.
back the next day before it aired and was telling me it was so cathartic, so therapeutic for her.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, then it's doing what God said it's. Yeah, so just having that safe place, creating it for each other, um, being able to be vulnerable with each other, helps to heal each other. Along the journey, they're going to be more hits from life that's going to cause wounds, hurts,
Yep.
and uh, we try to be healed to a certain place before we come together, because we know they're going to come. Life is going to bring them, and it's good when you're with someone who can help you heal together along the journey.
For sure. Yeah. And I definitely feel like I am with that person. I've come a long way since we became, a couple. She's always encouraged me to open up more and show that emotion. Um, just the way I grew up, I guess. Like playing sports and stuff like that. Like I wasn't like taught overtly to like hold my emotions in or mask my emotions, but it was just more like an expectation, I guess, or how I perceived it to be. So it's just years and years of stuff, just kind of believing that. So it's bad habits. But yeah, she just encouraged me and wanted me to really trust her. So the more I
Wow.
started like talking and opening up that way and just expressing how I'm feeling and things like that, the other emotions started to come naturally, the crying and releasing and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah, I feel like I've really improved over the last few years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guys, it's important to release and retreat so you can be rejuvenated and you can be refreshed.
Yeah.
You don't keep bowels moving up in your body.
Hmm.
That ain't healthy.
Exactly.
You go sit on the throne, let it out, and then you wipe, and then you go, from there. Hey, TMI. Some people may say, but we need to see toxics in the body that needs to come out.
Yeah.
That's the way God made it to be. And when it's not functioning like that, then
Yeah.
something is wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, something is wrong. Awesome. What are some turnoffs that you would? We're down to the last two. What are some turnoffs that you have noticed that people have about their character
Yeah.
or the way they are? They want to be in a relationship, but the way they are, they don't even realize that's a turnoff for somebody.
Yeah, man. Uh, on the men's side, I really think that like our pride is really something that hurts us very much. Um, the word says pride comes before the fall.
Jesus.
And it's just something I still feel at times like, man, it's just, yeah, it's very crippling. I've been in a situation, actually, pride is exactly why I have a tattoo on my left shoulder. Because, my ex girlfriend in college, she always begged me to get a tat, right? And I always said no. But my teammate was like, hey, man, let's get a tattoo. And she was like, oh, you better not. And my teammate was like, oh, you gonna let her talk to you like that? And I was just like, no, you know what? I'm gonna get a tattoo. Pride, right there. But yeah, I think a lot of guys struggle with that. A lot of
Yeah.
times we can be arrogant too, and I think that comes with pride too.
Yeah.
Not really accepting our shortcomings, not really admitting that we're wrong. I definitely think that's a turn off for women. Um, not talking, not talking. I know that was something that really frustrated my wife, and still does at times. Not really opening up or saying what's bothering us, not admitting that our feelings are hurt. Um, that can turn into a lot of things, and lastly, just being indecisive. Um, I think that is, especially if a woman is looking for us to be the leader of the household, the head of the household, and
Right.
we're
Right.
indecisive, not able to make those decisions confidently. I think it can be very frustrating um, for a woman. So if a woman picks up that early before they even make the decision to take things further with you, I don't think it'll go very far. But um, honestly, I didn't think about the women's sides too much, but what comes to mind um, really right now is what we just talked about. Honestly, is just giving us the room to you know be emotional, um, and when we struggle with it, encouraging that, um,
Mhm.
and just, I mean, I hate to say like the cliche thing, but like um, being our peace. You know what I mean? And not like adding to, it's both sides honestly, but not adding to the drama in our lives, not adding to the stress. You know what I mean? Um, so I've seen relationships where the woman and the man could you know be like extremely clingy, and not allowing the other person to have that space to be able to hang out with friends or have some time to do leisure activities.
Mhm.
I think that's so important, man, to be able to have like a place to release stress and
Mhm.
my wife lets me work out with my guys 3-4 times a week. I go in the morning though. I would rather go in the morning so I don't miss out on too much family time. But
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Considering family time, thinking, talking differently. But to what you said even um earlier, with a man being indecisive to a woman, that could be like a turnoff.
yeah,
I would say to brothers is, surround yourself with a village
hmm,
of people, mentors, right?
yeah,
Who can be some sources for you
right,
so that you don't feel so overwhelmed, but you have places you can tap into to pour into you so then you
yeah,
can pour into your family with some
yeah,
insight, with some wisdom, with some knowledge about certain things because they're looking to you. You need to have people that surround you, that pour into you, that you can tap into.
right.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, that's so important. That's so important. That's good, man. I appreciate that. Wow, yeah, you've been pulling stuff out of me. This Jesus, I'm loving this. Okay. So the last one is self-awareness.
Mm,
How important is it to be self-aware before entering into a relationship with someone? And what are some of the benefits that you've seen since you've
yeah,
been married?
for sure, man. I think it's 1,000% important. Number one, um, not just relationships, any team. Any team that I've been on, any team, whether it's basketball or work or ministry, whatever that is, the best teammate is the person that owns up to their mess every time. Um, and they seek feedback and they figure out, how can I do better? How can I not make that same mistake that I just made? Um, so I feel like if you're, not self-aware of your shortcomings, you're not gonna fix them, and you'll bring, your mess into the relationship. So um, I just think it's a bad recipe to have, um, not to have the humility to be able to know where you fall short and stuff like that. So I think that's really important. Where it has helped me is honestly, it has helped really the both of us kind of just like grow our trust for each other. Um, when we both like understand like where we fall short, and we admit those things, like we can better help each other too.
Mhm.
So like trying to find an example. Shoot, like I talked about the example of like me not hearing, or like registering what she said to me, my wife.
Right.
Now instead of like saying, "Hey, we have dinner with so and so on Saturday night," we'll just put it on a schedule now, to kind of help me have a visual instead of like just me hearing it. You know what I mean? So
Right, right, right.
um,
Yeah.
I admit, yeah, I'm like, hey, sometimes you tell me things, I feel like I am listening, but sometimes I guess I'm not. So that's something
Right.
I definitely struggle with. But it's funny
Mm.
because I try to call her out too because she acts like she doesn't do the same thing. Uh, I'm like, Bree, you act like you don't do that too. So it's like she was like, I don't do that. I'm like, babe, yeah, you do. So we have the shared calendar thing, um,
Right.
to help with that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just think that
Yeah.
when the other person's uh, humble and admitting their shortcomings, like
Yeah.
respect grows, um, and it's contagious too.
Um,
It's like, oh, like the best player on our team, he like owned up to a mistake. Like
right.
that's okay, cool. Like I feel like I'm safe to like own up to my mistakes too, and we can kind of
Right.
talk about how we can grow in different areas. It just provides a healthier space.
It does. It does. It does. But that's not just for the what to say negative side or the not so good side.
Yeah,
So I'm asking this question here, and
sure.
and to see if people and I love to ask this question. Are you aware of two wonderful things about Wes? And
Hmm.
are you aware of two things about Wes that he needs to work on?
Yeah. So the two
Can you
wonderful,
name them?
yeah. Uh, I would probably say I am like I like to make my wife laugh. So um, I like to just make her feel better.
So you're
Whenever
you're humorous.
yeah, yeah,
You're intentional about your humor.
right. And
Yeah.
I don't I don't want her to feel bad. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
feel like it's my job to make her feel better. Um, Not just making her laugh, but like maybe doing something thoughtful. She loves like sweets, like chocolate ice cream or something like that. So I feel like I'm pretty good at that, man. Doing
That's a
things.
wonderful thing about you. Another
Yeah,
wonderful thing about you.
yeah. I would probably say that I am really like flexible in our relationship as far as um, just picking up where picking up things where things are lacking. So like yesterday, she asked me to handle folding the clothes. I'm down. I'm down for it. Um, when we had the baby a couple months ago, I'm like, hey, I'll handle cleaning like the house. I'll handle whatever you need, so you can focus on you know nursing and things like that. So I just feel like I'm really flexible, and just
Okay,
like a
that's
team
good.
player. So yeah,
That's
two things
good.
I lack, man. Two things I lack. I mentioned at the
But
towards
you're
the beginning.
working on it, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's really just talking, man. Like if something is bothering me, um, talk about it before it gets to be a big issue,
Hmm.
and that's really honestly my biggest problem, bro. Like it's not with her, it's with everyone, man. Like I just let things just kind of go, man. But I really
Right.
don't let it go. It just kind of it's in a mental chamber, I guess.
Mhm.
So that's really the issue that I'm working on, I think. Um, and then I would say the second one is yeah, I mean that's communication. So communication is one. So probably I've really been working hard at like my attitude. So um, I practice what I preach. So I work with student athletes and mindset. Um, so doing a lot of different exercises to be able to keep your mindset in a positive space. So
Mhm.
if you know things aren't getting done, in the house or something like that, um, at times I can have a poor attitude and just like kind of spiral a little bit and just not be a good human or not be fun to be around. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but yeah, ever since I've been working with athletes, man, like a lot of the stuff that I've been learning, because I actually just got certified in um, sports psychology coaching. So I've been learning a lot of.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
So I just been learning a lot of stuff about mindset. That's helped me in my marriage, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
So yeah, so just like getting mentally tougher, man, in certain situations.
what are some practical things you've done or you're doing to help you conquer that and not be so easily moved in your attitude?
Yeah. So really, it's just using the form of positive self talk. Um, just reminding myself who I am. Um, so a lot of our a lot of my stresses I touched on earlier was is just like our finances right now, and daily I got to remind myself is through the power of God. Obviously, I am a provider for my family. Um,
Mhm.
I am a great leader. I am a decision maker. So spend time journaling, doing that, and saying things out loud to where I can hear it. Um, once I say it enough, I'm gonna believe it. Um, and then like, oh, there you are. And then watch, watching what I say. So when a certain situation happens, the two worst things that I can say is, "Oh my God," or "Here we go." Those are like two things that I typically, naturally say when something happens. So I don't I specifically don't allow myself to get there when I'm, you know, in my right mind, I should say. And I replace the "Oh my God" or the "Here we go" with the "We're good, we're fine, and we'll figure it out. God will make a way." So yeah, it's just those little simple things.
Yeah, so you have you've been an awesome guest. And special is actually a fitted for you, special guest.
Thank you.
Um, at the very beginning, I heard in my spirit to let you talk. Towards the end, you said that's something you don't do a lot.
Mhm.
But I heard, even it was something you said, I can't remember. I look back and I'll be like, that's when it took place. So it's so good to be sensitive to the spirit, um, and to be able to um, go with, I don't like to say necessarily go with the flow, but go with God
Yeah.
so that this moment can do what it's supposed to be at this moment, but then it can do what it's supposed to do for whoever is supposed to watch it or listen to it.
Yeah.
Because right now, this moment is bigger than this moment. We are going into nations, right? And so going to the nations and share the testimony, your story is going forth. Today you have preached a sermon, you have shared a testimony, you have given us pages out of your story. You've not just answered questions, you've not just given your nuggets to these things, but you've supported it with, this is not where I was, this is where I am. I'm still dealing with this. You know, you've had me to even share some things. And another thing I'm saying for the first time here
Mhm.
is that I have struggled in silence.
Mhm.
As a man of God, as a preacher, man of faith, struggled in silence because I didn't feel I had safe places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Safe place that I could be vulnerable, whatever. So I thank God for the arts because it has allowed me to it's given me outlets. But so much, man, and I'm still working on that. And I'm still also the other thing I'm working on. You may mention of, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there, be transparent. Is that I'm working? I had to realize this by myself. I'm working on pride.
Mhm.
Pride to, and it was from this level because there are different layers and levels to pride.
Yeah.
But that pride that would, because I love being there for people. I love, hey, I'll get upset if you don't let me know how I could have helped you.
Right.
Then I would have too much pride sometime to not tell you, or this is where I need help at, or this is where I'm not, well, this is where I need help at.
Yeah.
You know, even Jesus entered in, he said, I have need of you. We have to know to say, I have need of you. Of course, you need to know that you have safe places, vulnerable people you can be vulnerable enough to share that with. That's not going to, do damage to that.
Yeah.
Um, and so this is what men would feel. This is what men do.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do it sometimes too, until we know there's safety in this.
Mhm.
And so that's an area that, and then God ministered to me through this one person on TikTok. The power of TikTok. A lot of foolishness on there. But
Yeah.
when you build up an algorithm,
Mhm.
um, then they know, okay, I'm gonna send you more stuff like this,
Mhm.
more motivational stuff, and dude, I posted it on my page, but this brother just really blessed me. This blessed me tonight. Um, and we are work in progress. We are always under construction, you
Mhm.
know. So whether
Yeah.
we are single or whether we are in a relationship, we need to know they're not going to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect. We're constantly, hopefully, getting better and evolving, So do whatever you need to do to evolve. You said it.
Mhm.
You can see your progress. That's what it's all about. It makes
Right.
you a better person. It makes your relationship across the board with whoever better. I love how you said it. Teams,
Mhm.
and so you're a team player. You
Yeah.
understand what it means to be an athlete. You understand what it means to be on a team.
Right.
So he's connected to somebody who's like, hey, we don't just jump out the team. We just
Yeah.
figure out, whose play it is, what we got, what our play is gonna be, you
Yep.
know. And
Yep.
your play was, hey, we got to get rid of this car, do this, whatever. And she got to go to preschool. This is how we gonna do this. This is
Yeah.
gonna be the play. We're gonna make a touchdown.
No doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
slam dunk. NBA, whatever. You didn't say nothing about no football. You said basketball earlier. Okay. And but I appreciate you, Wes. I thank you for being transparent.
Of
Um,
course.
how can people reach you if they want to learn more about your program?
Yeah. So you can find us on Facebook at the Chosen Ones GR. Um, and then really Twitter, Instagram at the Chosen Ones GR as well. And then our website is thechosenOnesGR.com, where you can really learn more. But yeah, give us a follow on social media. Really, our pages are catered to student athletes. With mental health resources, motivation, all that stuff. So yeah, that's where you can find us. Yeah, feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk more. Um, yeah, just let me know.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I look forward to having you back with Bree,
So
the one that everybody's heard about. So you just, um, but I cannot thank you enough. I thank God, but I can't thank you enough as well. And y'all know we had Inspire in the back, taking care of things for us, engineering, producing. And
thank
she's been on her job. She's doing marvelous as always. And so I thank God for Inspire.
yeah.
Um, and is there any last words you want to say to before we wrap this up?
Um, really, yeah. I mean, if you're single, um, man, just focus on God and focus on you. Honestly, um, you know, and just focus on being your best self that you could possibly be, and get ready. Even if you don't know who that spouse is, who the person that is for you next. Um, the best thing that you can do for that person is, you know, be your absolute best self. And it starts right now. It doesn't start when you meet that person. It starts right now.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff there. Two words you said was get ready.
Hmm.
Wow, wow. Get whatever you want, whatever you're looking for that day, whatever you're praying for, get ready for it now. Get ready. Yeah, mate, get ready. Get ready. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. That's good. The as a man of God, it's been already long. I just want if you would drop a word of prayer for those who are single.
Yeah.
A brief word. Yeah.
Yeah. Lord Heavenly Father, first of all, we thank you for this time, fellowship and
Yes.
learning and
Thank you, God.
transparency and things like that. Lord, I just pray that those that are watching and listening, get something out of it, Lord. At least one thing that can change their heart, change their minds.
Thank you, God.
Father God, I just pray for those that are single right now. God, I just pray that For those that feel alone, Lord Jesus, I pray that number one, you fill them up with your Holy Spirit to um, feel like they have someone near them, Lord. You're always near, you're omnipresent, Lord. I pray that they feel your presence, Lord. I pray that you send them a community, God, a community of like-minded people that will love and lift them up, that will pray for them, Lord God, that will uh, do things with them that will fill their love bucket, their social bucket, Lord Jesus. Um, if it's fear, if they have fear of being alone, God, I just pray that you just remind them, Lord God, that it's an opportunity to grow closer to you. It's an opportunity to um, do a lot of things that, quite frankly, we can't. Married people really can't do. So there's definitely positives of being single, God.
Wow.
Pray that you open their eyes to that, Lord Jesus. And Paul said himself that singleness is a blessing just as much as marriage is. So, Lord, I just pray that you bless and keep our single brothers and sisters, God, and pray that you help them to commit to getting ready for what you have next for them. And I pray that in Jesus' name. Amen.
Wow. Amen. Oh, wow. I think that's the first time to pray for those for singles to just enjoy being single right
Man.
now. You are enjoy that space and that place. Don't
Mhm.
feel like it's not enough. And then some people get married and they feel like that's not enough to look. But in your singleness, be blessed in your singleness.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
I absolutely love being married. I love the life that I have right now. But I'll be lying to you if I said that there weren't some things that I missed, being single. So there's some things that I really enjoyed, man. As much as I wanted to get married, as much as I, wanted to have a family, there's just some things that, like, man, like that sacred time. Um, it you don't get those days back. So definitely be
Yeah.
blessed in the season that you're in right now to the single
These
people.
new hands. You may reference to it. Paul speaks about it,
Mhm.
because once you're married, you don't have it anymore.
Right.
You're not able to do those things anymore, whatever. So
Mhm.
always enjoy the season that you're in and make it the best.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been good, man. We are going to be connected for the rest of our lives.
Man, yeah, let's keep it going. Let's keep
Yeah,
it
we're
going.
gonna keep this going the rest of our life. And I usually do prayer with men, brothers, sometimes midnight prayer. I hadn't done that in a while. And it's been back on this to do it. And just as you was praying, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be one of the brothers just to add to the lineup of brothers. And we may do it, by way such as this, as opposed to um we've done it in person, but we
Mhm.
may do this. But I'm looking to see you at the reunion show, one way or the other. Spirit Airline, they have flights for $39. And if you get down here, you got to worry about a hotel. I'll make room in the inn for you,
Yeah.
just to make sure. Maybe some others from the show, I don't know, but listen, um, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe. Please share. Please let everybody know about this particular episode here. This is a winner. But there's so many other powerful ones that we have done. Everyone has a niche of empowerment of their own. Don't miss any of them. Somebody hit me up today, said, I just got through watching 4 episodes back to back. I'm like, go ahead, and
Yeah.
what they call that thing when you watch so many
And
binge. Go ahead
yeah.
and binge. Go ahead and binge. Binge, brother, binge. Um, and so to God be all the glory. And thank you once again, Wes. We're gonna stay connected, like I said, for life. And I just want to say to all of you out there, as I always say, first of all, thank you, Inspire, for doing this extra work tonight. But to
Yeah.
all of you out there, I want to say, be intentional about creating a better life for yourself. God bless you. I'm out of here.
God bless.